for the main event, the only event that the daddios of the world need. We got Tim Smith, the honored guest. I will admit, so I am trying to figure out what clown is that. The It clown mask?
No, this is the official Mayor of Clown World mask.
Oh,
is it buy now?
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. This is incredible. I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, so your Seahawks came up big.
Dude, the Lions came up big for the Seahawks, but we also came up big too. We came up big in OT. It looked like I couldn't watch the whole game earlier because I had some shit I was doing, but man, my God, dude, I was sweating bullets watching the Lions game, Lions versus Packers. Though I was like, dude, I never thought I'd be a Lions fan for a day. Never thought that would happen.
They've never won a Super Bowl, have they?
Good question. Hold on, I'm doing something real fast. Have the Lions ever won a Super Bowl? Well, let's see what Mr. Google says real quick. Hold on, I'm kind of curious. Lions Super Bowl, has that ever happened?
I don't remember.
No, not only have the Lions never won a Super Bowl, they have never even appeared in one. They are one of 4 current teams to never appear in the Super Bowl. But that doesn't mean the franchise has been unsuccessful forever. Well, that's not bad. I mean, there are some teams that get to the playoffs pretty frequently, but they don't go anywhere. Like they'll get first round, second round, stuff like that, and they just kind of, it's pretty neat.
For the Packers, though, it's always crazy the mentality of a team. All they've got to do is beat some team that's not even in it. They've been eliminated. All they got to do is beat them. And a lot of times they lose. It happens in hockey, happens in a lot of sports. Something about it, they just can't get up for. All they got to do is win one game against a team not even in the playoffs. And it happens so often, these upsets, right? Like last game of the year.
Oh, yeah.
But what's the mentality behind that? What, you're going in, you're the Packers. We just got to beat some team that's eliminated and win the playoffs, and they can't do it. What's going on there?
I will give Detroit a lot of props, man. Detroit is, dude. They've been on fire the last 8 games. They were so terrible for the first 5 or 6 games of the season, but they just snapped their fingers. They got it together, and dude, they have a winning record right now. And I think they even might be in the playoffs, if I remember correctly. I think they might.
Well, they got eliminated when Seattle won. So they got eliminated earlier today.
Oh, the Lions did. So if Seattle would have lost, the Lions could have actually beat the Packers and made the playoffs. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so happy we're live right now, man. So this is cool because we can interact with people on the chat. Do you see everybody on the chat, by the way? Do you see as someone else? And I see as someone else. If you just go to where it says comments on the StreamYard thing.
Yeah, I see them. They got we have the Ravens. Are they in Baltimore?
Yeah. I think as someone else, where are you located, man? I couldn't remember if you're located in a foreign country. I think you're in the U.S. though. I think as
if they're in Baltimore, you're not really located in Baltimore. You're barricaded in a building in Baltimore. You've got turrets. There's barbed wire fence. You're just trying to survive. It's like Walking Dead.
Oh yes, so yeah, as someone else is in Baltimore. Yep. What's it like? Does Baltimore suck ass as much as the news says it does? I've always wondered that. Because there's a lot of shit talking about Baltimore, and I don't know if any of it's true.
You are right.
Well, high crime, my man. Nah,
yeah, on Sim City, that's the part on the map that's red. I think you want to reduce the red on the map from Sim City in Baltimore.
By the way, you know what? You know who we should? You know what? We should be a kind of a free for all right now. We should invite as someone else onto the live stream too. You want to do a 3-way?
Yeah. See if they can make it.
As gay as that sounds, do you want to do a 3-way? Hey, as someone else, do you want to get in on this sexy action right now? If you're bored. This is actually the first time I've ever used StreamYard besides the...
Their name doesn't make any sense, so they're probably insane. That's the kind of guest we're looking for.
Nah, he's pretty interesting kid, man. I like it. He's 20 years old, and he's already...
Okay, never mind. It's just a Zoomer name. It's not going to make sense anyway.
Oh, it says it's a... Oh, okay. It's a bit late right now, but you can react in my video. Sweet. I need to start... Oh, you talking about reacting to your videos as someone else, or are you talking about just like? I mean, I need to
Okay, so he
comment.
probably has a job at least because he's got to get up tomorrow.
Oh, yeah,
So
no,
that's a good start.
No, as someone else is a workaholic, man. This kid's a workaholic, dude. I'm just gonna call him as. This is what I'm gonna call him as. Not ass, by the way, as.
No, with Zoomers, you really got to try and
21.
decipher what they're saying.
That's right. He's
Like
21
as
years
someone
old.
else, what does that even mean? But it makes sense to like Zoomers. So, it's one of those things you got to look up on what's that thing, Urbanpedia or whatever on Google, try and figure out what any of this means. Oh, he's working Tuesday.
No, but my man's a workaholic, dude. So I will admit, young people can learn a lot from as someone else, dude. He's a smart cookie. He's investing heavily, invests in the Vanguard Total World Index, and that's the smartest thing you could do if you're young, man. Is just diversify early and just hold on to what you got.
If you're 21 and you buy one share of VT, you'll have like $3 billion at retirement. He has time on his side.
Oh, he's gonna be so set, man. He's gonna be so set. I'm proud of the kid, man. I wish I would have started at the age of 20, man, or 21 or 20. I think he's 21. That's right. But he started young, man. I just want him. I don't want him to turn into a degenerate gambler like everybody else's age, because he's a smart kid. That's why I think he needs to keep making videos, dude, because I've seen some of his stuff. It's good. It's good shit.
Okay, I'll look him up. Man.
Guys, subscribe to my boy.
What is he on? Amazon. Okay, so he's making stuff happen on Amazon. So that's why I don't invest. Like, there's a few retailers I'm thinking of investing in, but it's just, I don't know what's happening with online shopping. The few retailers that are left, I don't know if they're going to be here in 10 years. So I'm just skipping them.
Yeah, man. All right, so Tim, dude, you know what? I want to I feel like sometimes what is it? I'm not a very good interviewer. I got too much ADD. So instead of an interview, I don't even like doing interviews anyway. I'm not good at them. So I think we should just make it like the Gavin McKenna show is kind of like you're at a bar with a buddy and you just kind of riffing. That's the way I want.
Would you do a Trump impression like Ryan does?
Ryan does it way better than I do. My Trump impression's pretty fucking hack, but I'll do it right now. I will admit, sometimes when I'm alone at night, pondering my thoughts, I feel like I could become president once again. And I could practice Scientology. Now, I'm not the real Trump. I'm the fake Trump. I'm just like fake titties, but I pretend to be real titties. That's all you got to know. I'm fake
Trump. They're not bad when you think about it. He always says, when you think about it.
When you think about it, it's incredible. It's beautiful. And I also do have a Trump pen, by the way. I have a Trump.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a Trump. Check this out. Hold on. Hold on.
Simply put, rules work and rules save lives.
It's like legit it's one of these like hit its head and it's.
And yes, together we will make
I love it, man.
great again.
I love Trump, man. I love Trump. I know everybody's like hates him now or whatever, but I still love Trump, man. He's funny to me. He's a great dude. He's an interesting. I wouldn't say he's the greatest dude in the world, but he's a pretty neat dude.
Yeah, I think in like 50 years they'll look back as he was the one who kind of broke down the barriers to kind of get things going, because like he didn't like accomplish a lot. Like he didn't build the wall, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, but he kind of brought those things in the conversation. So that way, like I think in 50 years, like, oh well, Trump brought this stuff up. It took 20 years to get it together, but he was the one who kind of introduced it into like the mainstream.
Oh yeah. Hey, give me a second here. The Trump pen is gold.
I remember that infomercial used to come on late at night for Trumpy Bear. It was that teddy bear that kind of looked like Trump. I think that had phrases too. That was one of the funniest infomercials ever.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's really cool about this? I have so much power I figured out on StreamYard. So anybody who enters in, I have to be the one who puts them into the stream. Like they could be in the studio room with us, but I have the ultimate power to put them in. So I actually feel pretty safe. Just hold on. I want to copy and paste the guest link real quick, just because I'm fucking going crazy on the wild side right now. Because I figured I don't have a big fan base. Obviously, I'm just a weirdo who wears a tank top. I love I'm so loving the clown world. By the way, the clown world mask. It's so cool. Oh my god!
I felt the New Jersey made it right. It's like New Jersey's kind of become clown world, so I wear the New Jersey shirt.
Dude, fucking glorious right there, man. Incredible. All right, let me see. I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna copy that link right now. It's got to figure out where the link is at. I lost the link. It was there. Oh, now it's here. Hold on, dude. I'm like an old man on Viagra with this shit.
You're the Joe Biden of live streaming.
Oh, I am offended. No, actually, that's funny as shit, though.
Yeah, you should find. We need someone like Hunter Biden in the stream. Maybe just I don't know, go to like Reddit or something and be like, "Are you kind of like Hunter Biden? We're looking for someone first."
Let's see. Oh, this is so cool. Check this out. I found out another feature. Look at this. I can actually show people's comments. Do you see that comment right there? I can actually show it in the live stream and highlight people's comments. Dude, this thing might be the coolest piece of technology I've ever found. And then
what
I can
happens
also
on YouTube when they do live streams and people do super chats and stuff? Can you like do that?
Oh, super chats. Oh yeah.
But,
so like if somebody donated money or something like that, like say $5.
Yeah, but
right
is that through YouTube or do those people use a separate program, those live streamers, and then it ends up on YouTube?
So super chats, I believe, are directly through YouTube when they donate the money, but you can actually use things like StreamYard to be like to expose it like on the screen. Like let's say VT for the win was like, let's say VT for the win happened to be a $5 donation. I'd be like, you know what? Let's expose the comment because they gave us $5 and be like, hey, VT for the win, $5. Thank you. Stuff like that. But yeah, this is cool. I like being able to.
There were live streamers who they're basically made their entire future off that Depp Heard trial. They would just live stream that for 8 hours a day and people would be sending them super chats. Hey, what do you think's going to happen next? What does this objection mean? And they'd just be sitting there all day collecting cash.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. It's fucking cool.
Oh, this guy clicked the link. I think he's coming in.
Hey, ask someone else, man. If you want to come in, man, join this orgy. It's a sweaty man orgy right here. So it's not what you want. It's what you need.
A fantastic voyage. That's basically.
Yeah. So Tim, I gotta admit, so I recorded. It's funny. I recorded like 10 videos earlier. I've yet to upload them, but I got bored and I was like, I looked into StreamYard because I know Strongman Personal Finance uses it all the time, and I was like, what the hell? Why don't I use it? So here we are, man. We're using StreamYard instead of Zoom. I love it.
Yeah, Zoom is a little tricky. It cuts back and forth. It's like editing like Scorsese. It's just like bam, bam, bam.
I like that we're both on the screen. Hey, he's on. He's in the studio. Check it out. I don't know if you see him in the studio. Oh, hold on. I'm going to add him to the stream. Let's just add him.
I don't live stream. Well, you do now. You clicked on the link.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh,
what's going on?
I'm doing good.
Hey, man, dude. No, I'm just glad you're on here, man. So hey, ask someone else. What do you want to say? Say whatever you want, man. Spark it up.
I've been reading this. Basic Economics.
Basic Economics.
By Thomas Sowell.
Ooh.
I don't know if you know that book.
I've heard of Thomas Sowell, though. I think I don't think I've read the book, though. I don't think I've read the book, though.
I have this book right here. Basic, what is it? The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money.
Oh, dude.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Damn, you just busting out these books, man. No, it's good to read, man. Personal education is important, brother.
The Road to Serfdom by F.A. Heydrich.
The Road. Oh.
Did you just buy those because they look thick and heavy? You might have to throw them at someone at your door in Baltimore trying to break in.
Capitalism and Freedom.
Holy crap.
Capitalism by Freedom by Morton Freeman.
Have you given communism a shot at least?
I got Austrian Economics by Stephen Hartz.
Holy crap! You're in like Michael Malice level territory.
Dude, my man's an economic genius right here, man. I think as someone else might be like the next Warren Buffett or something, but
The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith.
Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith.
Yep.
Oh, dude, it's a classic.
It's so big. It's so big.
Where do you get most of your books, man?
I get them from Amazon.
Oh, Amazon, nice. I do. I go to the Goodwill, man.
Yeah.
Goodwill's like the ultimate thrift store, but dude,
Oh.
I live
How
in a
do I
retirement
flip my
community.
camera?
Oh no, I can still see you.
How do I flip my camera? Never mind. It's
Oh, you
okay.
broke it?
No, I'm trying to flip my camera.
Oh, flip it. I got you.
Yeah.
I thought you said you broke it.
I have all these
Oh.
books up here.
Are
World
you
Atlas.
buying all these books, or are you just swiping stuff out of the Amazon truck?
Most of them I bought, but there's some of them were given to me. Like the World
I
Atlas
mean, they
was given.
fell out the back of the truck. By accident.
I got this one by Real Life Lore.
Answers to let me see. Answers to questions you never asked.
Real Life Lore. Have you ever heard of him? YouTuber? Strong man, personal finance.
Strong
Stop
man's
being
book.
a broke loser. Yeah.
That guy's got his own book.
Yeah. It's I haven't read it, but it looks pretty good.
Retired before mom and dad. Rob Berger.
I dig.
Did that guy kill his parents or something?
Oh, the Federalist Papers by the Founding Fathers.
Oh, get it.
I got
Why
a lot
couldn't
of
you have
books.
led the January 6th insurrection? We could have had a coup. Instead, we had that guy with the buffalo horns.
Oh, Bogle on mutual funds.
Yo, Jack Bogle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Get it.
John Bogle on investing.
Mm.
And then I have John Bogle's successor, Jack Burnham,
Oh,
the other CEO of Vanguard.
I dig it.
Yeah.
You got
I
any
got a
Charlie?
lot
The
of
new
Vanguard
Michelle
books.
Obama book?
Small little book of common sense investing by John Bogle.
I listened to the audiobook of that one. Damn good. Holy
Enough by John Bogle. John Bogle's my favorite author. I
What a
love John
beast.
Bogle. Best
No
author.
one's ever been more ready to win the lottery than you are. If you just got 20 million, you're ready to go right now.
Yeah, I just read John Bogle. I love John Bogle. One of my
So-
favorite authers.
Dude, you got any
Um,
books by Charlie Munger?
No, I don't. I was thinking about getting Poor Man's Almanac. I was thinking about getting that one.
Yes, Charlie Munger, man. I don't think he has any books directly published about by himself, but man, he's got like so many books about his theories on investing that are pretty
Oh
incredible.
no, he published one book. It's called
did he?
Poor Charlie's Almanac.
Oh, okay. I guess he did. Okay, I
That's
thought
his
he
book.
didn't. Oh, okay.
That's his
badass.
book. I looked it up on online. It's the only book he published.
I love it.
Warren Buffett has not published a single book, but Charlie Munger has.
Yeah, but Warren Buffett's written like 1 million pages of those shareholder newsletters.
Yeah, so what they do is they have a book. His daughter actually put a bunch of the shareholder letters in a book. So his daughter
Yes.
wrote the book,
I
but-
love it.
but it's Warren Buffett technically writing it. See, just organized them into
Yeah, it's
chapters.
just a sweet, beautiful discography compilation.
Yeah,
Dave Ramsey would say you're spending too much money on books. He's a guy like
yeah, I
that.
probably am. I really do.
I'm
love,
older than you, boy. I'm older than you.
Dave Ramsey's Dave Ramsey's a scammer, man. With this actively managed mutual funds,
All right, I got a question
Yeah,
for you.
look
I
at all
got a
the
question.
fees on those things.
I got
like
a question for
1%.
you guys. Quick question. Gun to your head. All right. Gun to your head. Who, if you were to go with one grifter, one known grifter, you know they're a grifter. Who would you follow in a cult out of all the grifters that you know of?
ooh, that's
Who
a
would you
hard
be,
one.
Who would you be willing to actually? Because I have to think about this one. I don't even know the answer.
I'm thinking Dave Ramsey. I know he's just terrible with his advice, but I'm gonna go with Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey is your grifter to follow in a cult. I like it. What about you, Tim? What are you feeling?
I only recently finally, bought what people were saying about Ben Shapiro, about him being a grifter. Because I still kind of like him. So I'll go, I'll probably go Ben Shapiro or maybe
He's like
Jacob Wool.
Californian.
Yeah, or maybe Jacob Wool, he's a lobbyist, but he's like an open grifter. He's like, yeah, I made money off this omnibus bill. Tough break, people. So I'd either go him or Shapiro, one of the two.
Yeah.
Part of me
I've
would
heard of
go.
Ben Shapiro. I used to watch some of his videos when I was younger, but not anymore. But
You've passed Ben Shapiro.
yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Ben Shapiro. I just want to let you know that I just really want to talk really as fast as I can right now, and I just want to let you know that I'm really not a big fan of the liberal tears. I don't want to. I love doing Ben Shapiro impressions though.
Yeah, you
Your
know,
video
Freedom
just went to
Tunes?
2.5 times speed. I don't know if you did that on purpose.
You know, Freedom Tunes?
Freedom Tunes,
Heard of him? He makes a Ben Shapiro impression every episode almost.
Oh, I love it. Oh my god, I'm going to write that down. Hold on, I got my notepad here.
Freedom Tunes, look him up. He's funny.
Tunes. Got my Donald Trump pen here real quick.
Type
The
up Liberty.
delusion is over.
So type up Freedom Tunes.
Freedom Tunes, all right.
Okay,
Freedom
type
Tunes.
up what's Liberty Pen? Another person I listen to.
Liberty Pen, all right.
Yeah, and then I guess just type up Morgan Freeman. That's an economist. He's dead now, but Morgan Freeman. And I would type up Thomas Sowell. He's still alive, but he doesn't post any videos. But he's 92 years old. Thomas Sowell.
Yeah, isn't it weird that Thomas Sowell, like everyone talks about him all day, and no one can find him? Like he doesn't have any social media. There's people who post like his quotes all the time, but he did like one interview like 30 years ago or something. No one can find the guy.
He makes interviews with the Harvard Institute, Institute of California. I think it's in California. I don't know. And I watch his videos on the Harvard Institute. You can only find him on there.
Okay, that's where
He rarely does interviews. So
yeah, that's just weird because people talk about him a lot, but there's just like not a lot out there on him, so you don't even know if he's alive or what happened to him.
he's 92 years old. He's still alive. He's still making books.
Nice.
I'm probably gonna read The Visions of the Anointed, or Conflict of Visions by Thomas Sowell. I'm about reading that one.
Right on.
So it's about the unlimited vision versus the not limited, or the unlimited vision is more like the liberal vision, like people can do no harm, and like the conservative vision, which is conserving the power of the government. People can do harm. Let's limit how much power people can have. So it's called Conflict of Visions. It's very
Curtis
interesting.
Yarvin converted me to monarchism. So that's where I am now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was thinking about it. Why? So, dude, you're. I know you're 21, man. So
yeah, I'm 21. Yeah.
So, Tim, why do you, Tim, and as someone else, why do you guys think Gen Z is so into communism? Like, is it just a rewriting of history by adults, or adults rewriting history to make communism sexy? Or like,
so I think I know why, but I'll let Tim respond.
Yeah,
first.
I want to hear Tim. Why do you think the youngins have fallen into the communism hellhole? Like when there's so much proof that it sucks ass. I'm trying to figure it out.
I fell into that probably in like my late teens, early 20s, but I was mentally ill. And so I don't understand why these people are in it, because they don't seem mentally ill. Most people seem to have decent families, and they seem a lot healthier than me. They're taller, more attractive, have more money. So I guess it's just the influence of college professors. And I guess there's no consequences because a lot of them are on student loans. There's no way to test any of this stuff. They're just taking courses on student loans. Some of them have jobs though. I guess they don't look at their paycheck and see the taxes. I don't know. But I know I was, because I was mentally ill. I don't know what anyone else's excuses were.
All right. So what Morgan Freeman explains is the reason why people like socialism or communism or whatever is generally you have teachers are the most influential people generally for a student.
I nailed it.
We follow teachers, right? And the way society is organized is teachers are on the top, and they have teachers unions and they have labor unions, and it's a pyramid shape. So it's shaped like a socialist system, and so they advocate for that pyramid shape more than a capitalist system where the consumer's on top instead of a teacher on top. So.
But my question is, what is the breaking point? Because all these teachers and professors, a lot of them come from wealthy families, especially professors.
Yeah.
Like you'll have someone who tweets all day and you think they're communists, and you find out their family owns like 9% of Pepsi. They have like mansions, and they all fly. Like one of them, the university I went to is big on the environment. He's a history professor, but he thinks he's like a climate expert. He does these big lectures, and the moment he gets any time off, he flies his entire family to Hawaii to go to the beach on a jet. And I've confronted him about this. He has no answer. He's just like, well, I'm only one person. So what is the breaking point between these people wanting to live an elite lifestyle and the communism they keep talking about? Well, it would just kind of stay like it is?
Well, I think there's money flooding into the climate change movement and stuff like that. So
yeah, but they take the money and they buy cars and they fly to the beach on a jet. It's like they don't just sit there eating like, sweet potatoes all day and meditating. So they love spending money. They love wine. They love caviar. So they want to be rich. They love rich people. But all day they tweet about how much they hate rich people. So what's the breaking? Will this just go on forever like this?
I guess so. I mean, there's no end to the madness.
That's okay. As long as the stocks are still going, I can get dividends, then tweet away. I don't
With these neo-Keynesians in power, I think they will be. I think these stocks will go up.
So that's okay. They can talk about the climate all day then. As long as my dividends keep flowing, climate away, people.
I just buy index funds. They're so tax efficient that I don't really care about the dividend yield. They'll go up in 40 years. So.
Well, yeah, what's beautiful is the dividend. There are dividends that are paid out through like the VT and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, so the dividend raises as well as the natural value of all those companies raise as well. I'm explaining terribly right now, but
yeah, companies produce things that have value.
Yeah, productive assets, man. That's all that matters. The only thing that scares me about massive diversification is how many garbage companies are in the certain ones. But I'm still an advocate of the VT though, because it's within a very good valuation right now. And
there's a P ratio of 15, I think.
Oh, beautiful. 15 times price over earnings is sexy, man.
It's sexy. That's really good. I'm saying myself, that's amazing. 15 times earnings. The U.S. market, I think right now has 26 because it dropped recently.
Oh, yeah. The earnings have been kind of crappy on the U.S. companies. So
the people have been selling faster than what the earnings have been dropping. And so now it's 26. That's what I'm seeing anyway. Observing from the VOO crowd or VTI, I should say. VOO is the S&P 500. That's 80% of VTI, which is the total U.S. market.
Oh yeah, I've been buying the banks and credit card companies. What I love banks, man. I'm Ben Shapiro. I'm Jewish.
Yeah, I got some of my like 401ks got this weird Vanguard fund, and I got my regular VT fund. So that's what I got.
No, you're a smart lad, dude, and I'm gonna. I don't even want to try to sway you outside of it because the VT, dude. If you just keep piling on those logs, man, it's like just keep piling the money into the VT. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, my 401k is just the S&P 500, and my regular accounts is VT.
That's smart. That's smart as fuck, dude. You still. Oh,
do you guys know what financialism does with index funds? He'll take one, like let's say there was a big loss, like in the last year or so, it went down. He'll take that one, he'll sell it, and buy an almost identical index fund that just has a different name, and he'll write the losses off on his taxes to get a tax credit for the loss, and just buy a different like S&P index fund that's basically the same stocks but a different company. And then he says he does it, but he's like it is a bit of a legal gray area. We're not sure, but he's never been like audited or anything. So if you lost money, sell it, buy another one that's basically the same index, and write it off on your taxes.
That's an amazing strategy. I never thought about that,
dude.
Because so many index funds are just all the same companies. Just sell the one you lost, buy the other ones probably went down the same amount, buy it at the same price the one you just sold, and get a tax credit on the loss.
That might be the greatest example of Occam's razor in the fucking world. It's right under your nose. That's the simplest. That is the best way to tax harvest. Oh my god!
They're solving problems on the Michael Garza Show.
Dude, that's like my mind is blown by what I just heard. I feel like
that's so funny.
My mind's
I listen to music on a 90s Discman, so I'm not distracted by phones or MP3s. I can come up with brilliant ideas like that.
That's brilliant. I didn't think about that at all.
Dude, I'm throwing away my phone. I just realized this thing has killed my creativity. It's I got a case on it. Don't worry, it's okay.
You should watch my video on the general theory of money, employment, whatever. That one's my best video I've ever made on YouTube by far.
One more time, I want to hear it because I do want to.
It's called the general theory of something something. Just look it up on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, general theory.
Yeah. It's a book review, but
got you.
I go up with like an economic rant. It's a very good economic rant.
Tim Smith, what are you drinking right now?
Basic
boy?
economics.
I don't know why I just called you boy. By the way, I was like boy.
No, it's not vodka. So, don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was. I was about ready to join you here. I'll join you anyways. I'm a bit of a mild alcoholic. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking water.
You're smart. You're smarter than all of us right now. You see, this kid is so ahead of the curve. By the way, I'm just honestly happy to see that the youth. You are like you are Jesus, Gen Z Jesus. By the way, you're Gen Z. Gen Z.
It's so interesting to me because you listen to my brothers and they're like socialists.
Oh, your brothers are.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I love it, man.
So
yeah, your title of your next video should be ... So I started a REIT on Mars. That's your next step.
Start a REIT on Mars.
I need to start a crypto coin. That's my next.
Elon Planet Mars.
Oh my god,
man! That guy,
right now all you got is the Elon Musk estate on Mars, and it's got a pool, not a lot else. But that's all you need in a REIT. It's just his house.
The capital's gonna be Musk or whatever, and then like, I just can't imagine like his net worth gone down by 20 billion. I think in the last few months. I don't know exactly how much it went down by, but I think it's like 20 billion at least, maybe even more than that. Because Tesla stock's down like almost 60%. So
I don't think he cares. What's he going to do with that 20 billion? There's actually like some limits on how much you can like literally spend if you tried to spend all your money. He's not going to have time to spend it. There's not enough hours in the day. So he's doing stuff that rich people should be doing, like buying Twitter and like kicking half the staff out. It's like when those two Italian guys bought the UFC and made it better like 20 years ago. That's what rich people should be doing. Buying stuff, making it better instead of, I don't know. Like, I don't know. What's Bezos doing? Is he like a good boss? Like, what's he like in the break room? Does he have like a coffee machine for you guys or anything?
Well, Bezos left in 2019. So he's not even the boss of Amazon anymore.
That's
true.
true.
I can tell.
Doesn't he still own a lot of shares, though? He's still a big owner of Amazon.
Yeah, he's a board director, I think. He owns 10% of Amazon shares.
Smart man.
So he's a board director, but he's not he's an owner, but he's not a CEO anymore. He doesn't care about managing as much. He has Blue Origin now, or whatever, as his company. He's managing.
See, he's doing the wrong stuff. He's buying yachts that are getting stuck in canals in Europe. Like that doesn't help anyone out. Buy an MMA organization. Dump people out of Twitter. Like kick half the staff out with their smoothies and their salads.
The thing is, I feel like it's not profitable enough to justify his buying of Twitter. I know Strongman made a rant on this. He's like, "Oh, Elon's a clown. He's gonna lose all his money or whatever."
Yeah, but on Citizen Kane, they tell him you lost $1 million on your newspaper this year. It's like, yeah, I lost $1 million this year. I'm going to lose $1 million next year. I'm going to use it at this rate. I'll lose all my money in 100 years. Like he doesn't care.
I mean, he's going to die before he loses all his money, I think. But if Elon's crazy, he'll lose all his money before he dies. But who knows? I do think that he overpaid for Twitter, but he tried to improve the platform by doing it. So whatever. But I think Twitter was going to crash even before Elon bought it. Honestly, he should have waited. I would have just waited. Then I would have kicked out the management.
Yeah, but it's all for the cloud. It's for the like they were talking about making stuff like Twitter and Facebook public utilities because it's like so much part of the public square and everything.
Yeah.
So he was just doing it for the cloud. He's like, I own everything everyone's saying right now.
Oh yeah, did you hear that Mark Zuckerberg owns 90% of the voting shares of Facebook, so no one can outvote him?
Dude, that's fucking smart.
He lived in China, so he married a Chinese foreigner. He's trying to get it in China. And then not only that, he owns 90% of the voting shares. So even if you buy like a stock that's Facebook, right? It's not actually a voting share. It's a non-voting share. You own the profits of Facebook, but you don't actually own the voting rights of Facebook. So you can't be on the board of directors or anything.
Oh man, how many shares short were you in board of directors?
The board of directors, I mean, they get
Do
to
they let you
decide.
in the conference call at least?
I guess you could go to the conference call, but you don't have any say in anything.
You don't get that. You get to ask a question.
That's actually smart of Zuckerberg to do that. Think about it. You make your company public
so well.
Oh, say what?
He can control speech so well. I think of when I think of a non-voting share, I think of Puerto Rico. How they send representative in Congress and they can't vote for anything. That's exactly how I think of a non-voting share.
Facebook's the Puerto Rico of social media.
Yeah, he did that. With his investors. God, you're just Puerto Rico when you buy a share of Facebook.
I was gonna say, you guys are blowing my mind right now with everything, dude. I'm seeing the world through a new lens, and
yeah, I always think of the world so differently.
I'm afraid right now, man. I don't like the way the world's looking. But I do like the fact that Mark Zuckerberg has effectively created a dictatorship. Like,
he's very smart. I love his dictatorship's amazing. I have to give props to him for making a dictatorship, a de facto dictatorship.
Do you guys think the metaverse is going to Do you guys think the metaverse is going to be the downfall of the Meta company, which is Facebook? But do you guys think it's the downfall, or do you think it's just the beginning of a new beautiful era of shitty?
I don't think the metaverse will exist in the way that Mark Zuckerberg envisions, but I do think he's going to buy out more companies, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
I mean, he's big enough; he could just buy whatever smaller software development companies that are doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think his vision's going to come to light. I think people are so visionary on certain technologies. I feel like there's a lot of hype with technology, and there's a huge investment bubble economically in California. And this is going to pop eventually, within my lifetime or within the next lifetime. It's going to pop, and the economy of California is going to be a mess. And I love my home state of California. I used to live there. Beautiful state, but I don't live there anymore, sadly. But yeah,
it's ran by Clown World, man. As my boy Tim Smith is showing right now.
Yeah,
Clown World. He's showing the Clown World.
Well, I think like 2 months ago, I talked to someone from India about the metaverse, and they're like telling me metaverse is the next big thing. Everyone's going to have a virtual reality set. Everyone's going to be in virtual reality. It's going to be huge. I'm like, okay, I'm in Canada. It's like, if I was in India, I would think that, because why would you want to leave your house? Why would you want to go outside? It's like a nightmare. It's like a hellhole. Canada people, I want to go to the park right across the street. No one wants to be in the metaverse in Canada. If you're in some nightmare country, then yeah, you're going to want to spend 20 hours a day in the metaverse and just get stuff delivered to you, never leave your house for any reason. But I'm like, this is only going to be big in your country. I was trying to tell them that. So I think metaverse will take off in some places, but US, Canada, I don't see it as much. Probably not Europe either.
I lived in Maine, and it was freaking 6 feet of snow. I didn't want to go outside. Terrible.
Too much snow. You don't like the snow?
No, I don't like the snow. It's terrible. I just shovel it all.
It's great. I didn't
even get to see my driveway. I didn't even know what my driveway was until it melted for like 3 months. We had the driveway. We didn't even know what it was.
That's fucking crazy. Holy shit.
It was so funny. We bought this home, or somebody bought this home I was living in, right? And then we didn't even get to see the driveway, even though we bought the home. And so we just didn't get to see the driveway for the first 3 months we owned the home. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that sounds horrifying. You might want to delete that when you edit this video, because that's going to give Stephen King another book idea for me. The time it snowed so much, it was terrifying. And we don't need any more Stephen King books.
Imagine there's just arms coming out of the road.
Yeah. Stephen King's going to do a snowman horror book if he hears this. Just end the story.
That's so funny. I never thought about it.
Did you ever see him up there? I heard he's a recluse. I don't know.
Here, I'm going to give you guys just. I'll be back in just a second. You guys take the floor. I'll be back.
Okay.
Baltimore. I just had some oysters from there. They were shipped from the East Coast. We got West Coast oysters out here. The East Coast ones are like a little bigger. Some people like them more. I can't really tell the difference, but a lot of people are into like East Coast oysters. But what else do I know about Baltimore? Crab bisque, lobsters.
Yeah, they have a lot of weird stuff in Maryland. Maryland's a weird state.
Is that where they have Old Bay spice?
Oh yeah, they do. I got Old Bay wings. Yeah.
Okay. Old Bay.
What
We were talking
province
about
are you
Old Bay
from?
Spice and lobsters in Baltimore.
What province are you from? I don't
I'm on
even
the
know.
west coast, like near Vancouver. I'm on like the far
Oh,
west
okay, like
coast.
British Columbia, probably.
Yeah, I'm from Vancouver Island, so I'm in that area.
Oh, okay, yeah, British Columbia. I don't know. I've been wrong.
What
I look
part
at
of
the map
California
and-
are you in? Are you from?
I lived in Alameda for a few years.
Where's that again?
Alameda's next to San Francisco. Well, across the bay from San Francisco.
Now, did you ever join Alameda Research?
No, but I've heard of it. It's a pretty terrible company.
Hey man, I put all
Run by
my money. I put all my money in SBF. I should have put it in the VT, not SBF. Man, that's
the SBF.
dude. I need to like make some. Okay, so I do want to make a few videos that I want to make fictional indexes. Like I want to make the SBF index. It would consist of nothing but Facebook and Robinhood stock, and that would be it. That would be it.
That would be
the
funny.
SBF index. That's
You should put on like a wig and glasses like Kathy Wood and do like your own indexes and do like a funny voice and just like it's a different person.
holy fuck. Oh
That would be amazing.
my god. I want to pretend to be Michael Saylor and talk about crypto all day.
Yeah, become a seller.
Hey guys,
Yo,
like crypto is totally
That guy's
the future,
crazy.
please.
He's like, sell everything and buy Bitcoin. That guy's absolutely crazy.
Like, can you please like sell your home and then buy more Bitcoin so I can at least so that pumps up my position a little bit so I can sell? Please, thank you. Out.
It's so crazy. Michael Saylor's the craziest person I've ever listened to on finance. All his advice is terrible.
It's
sell
pretty bad.
everything, buy Bitcoin.
Dude, you can't get all in on an asset that's not. It's not an asset because it's a piece of an algorithm. Like people, if people were honest with themselves, crypto is a piece of an algorithm that is open source and can be copied by many people. You can create your own cryptocurrency because the whole source code's there. Dogecoin is a complete carbon copy of Bitcoin, except for instead of being rare within the little blockchain, they've got millions of little stupid Dogecoin things or billions or however the fuck it was. The whole thing is dumb.
Trillions.
It's just like, I think if people ask themselves, you got to ask yourself the question, does this have actual value? And if you have trouble in trying to figure out if it does, it probably doesn't have it. You know what I mean? If you're like, I wonder if crypto, something that exists in a fucking algorithm, is worth more than fucking gold. And Michael Saylor said it's the new gold. It's worth more than gold. I'm like, dude, the amount of shrooms in the crypto community that they're getting a hold of is beyond me. And
what kind of drugs are they taking? I want to know.
I go on Reddit forums just to laugh because I love dude. If you get bored, go to Reddit crypto channels, not channels, but Reddit. Those little subreddit crypto spaces. It is the biggest echo chamber because they talk about FUD. Like they're like, hey, we don't talk about FUD here. It's like what was it? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, I guess is the acronym or whatever. Dude, they can't handle reality is the problem. They can't handle the fact that they have put hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars or whatever into something that is so fucking imaginary.
They're like a college student who majored in the wrong thing.
And don't get me wrong, we're all guilty of this, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm very guilty of doing shit like this in my life.
Yeah. We're all guilty of it. I think at some level.
List for your crypto ETF so far, we've got mushrooms, like companies that do experiments in like
psychedelic mushroom companies.
Probably like craft dinner because that's what you're going to be eating. And it's some company that makes tarps. Like when people set up like a tent city that they live in, you're going to need tarps. So at least I'd start with those three things, and maybe someone who like has like a dorm room read or something.
Tim, you are either a visionary or one cruel bastard. I don't know.
Have you been listening to Jay Nagy on the whole like SBF situation?
I don't really watch Jay Nagy as much as I watch my boy Strongman Personal Sexy.
Oh, he's hilarious. You gotta watch Jay Nagy. He's so funny.
And he's an interesting dude. I've seen him and Strongman riff together on a few live streams before.
His independent videos are even funnier. His whole SBF video, he's like, you gotta sell some of that some of that ass in jail or something to SPF. He said it was funny.
So, how loose do you think his ass is? Well, he's gonna go to a Lux prison. He's not even gonna get ass pounded.
Yeah, he's gonna get to a white collar prison, but
He's gonna be hanging out where wasn't Bernie Madoff in like a really sexy prison or something?
Yeah, he died in 2021, but yeah, I think he was in North Carolina.
Yeah,
in prison. So yeah, I think he's gonna end up in North Carolina like Bernie Madoff. I heard it may have actually been worse, like with the number of victims. I think it was like 200 times the number of victims with the SPF scandal.
Dude, it's bad. Like people, the media downplays it so much. Like I'm surprised they're not like out with pitchforks. Like I'm like when the whole Bernie Madoff thing happened, they acted like he was the dick devil. You know, they thought he was like devil incarnate. But then SPF comes along, he's like, I'm sorry, you guys. I like didn't know the 8 billion was like totally like put into FTT token and FTX token
and Alameda Research.
And like, I'm sorry, my girlfriend who loves Harry Potter was totally using a lot of the funds to.
Oh, did you hear his girlfriend talk about how she built a hierarchy?
A what? Hold on,
a hierarchy of orgies. Like she was higher up than all the employees. Did you hear that in the news articles and stuff?
What? Whoa, what?
Well, that's because she was the only girl there, though.
Yeah, she was talking about how you have to be superior to all your employees or something, and how you build it based on interactions to your employees closely, really closely.
That is, I don't know what to say right now. So, are you saying that she was the only chick there and she was getting banged by a bunch of software engineers?
Yeah, it was like a big party. Let's say party.
It's an orgy. Yeah, just a total orgy.
Yeah, and CoffeeZilla made a video on it. It was hilarious. CoffeeZilla made a video on it. I don't know if you saw it.
I kind of respect Sam Bankman-Fried at this point. I call him Fried. I don't know why I call him Fried.
Yeah.
I know it's Freed, but it's so much fun to just call him Fried. I don't know
He
why,
made a bunch of orgies in the Bahamas, and he started a crypto company, and he's crazy.
Dude, he's actually, it's funny. I think about it sometimes, and I thought to myself the other day, Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. I thought Jordan was a grifter, like a pretty bad one, but SPF, like I think he watched Wolf of Wall Street and said, I could do it 100 times better.
He was inspired.
Yeah, he was inspired.
It's funny. My aunt watches that movie and said I should watch it, and said I should be inspired by the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm then myself, what?
First off, people should watch you and be inspired by you, man. You're cooler than Jordan Belfort in my book, man.
I'm thinking to myself, the Wolf of Wall Street, one of the worst people ever. He just completely scammed so many people.
Dude, pump and dump all day, baby. Oh man, you should you're gonna be a Jordan Belfort of VT. You're gonna call up people. Hey, guess what? $100,000 and turn around and pump and then dump your VT.
I don't even like to talk about index funds on my channel. I don't talk about investing at all on my channel anymore. I just talk about economics now because I read economics videos and I make like what is it called? Book reviews on my channel. That's all I do. I give opinions on the books. I only talk about what I know.
Yeah.
So like that's what I do. I make book reviews now because that's all I really know. Anything I know,
you're going in like a different direction than the Kardashians went.
Yeah, Kardashians will comment on things they don't know about, and then they'll be more popular for it. I do the opposite. I'm completely unpopular.
I'm guilty of this sometimes. Like I have like for instance, there'll be things that I have maybe a 50% knowledge base on, but I'm like, fuck it, I'll wing it. But I'm pretty truthful about it. I'm like kind of like halfway through and like, I don't think I know what I'm fucking talking about. I've done that in a few videos where I'm like, I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. I thought I did. I'm lost.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll read a book and I'll reread it, kind of like review it, and then I'll make a video on it because I want to make sure I understand what the person is trying to say, and then I make the video on it. Sometimes I have a hard time.
I'm the complete opposite. Like I'll read the book and I'll like talk about it and I'll be like, I think the author was saying this, but I'm going to commit to my thoughts on what the author was saying, even though I'm probably a delusional bastard. Like I was like, let's do this. I think, like how people will like read into a book a little further than they should about a character or something. Like, I don't know. What's an example? Like, I mean, you could read into Twilight, for instance, the Twilight book series and be like, Well, Edward's so dreamy, but if you think about it, Edward was kind of like a little bit of an abusive vampire to a young girl. Like that's what the story. He's an old ass vampire abusing a young woman. I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent. Tim, we need you. I need you.
Well, we want to get this as someone else, guys, some views. Like what you need to do to your YouTube is every once in a while throw in like one of those ASMR videos, like where you just run like a fork across the pages or something, because that's what people want to see. They don't really care what's in the book. What does it sound like? You kind of drag it slowly, kind of thing, and maybe have like a candle, a few candles or something.
Yeah, probably should do that. That's really fun. Oh man, my phone's about to die. It looks like, but it's might die in a few minutes. But
that's Greta Thunberg's fault.
There we go.
Yeah,
let's get more people on. I just gotta shout out my boy real quick. That way, more people.
I'm gonna make a new book review. It's gonna be applied economics versus basic economics. So I'm gonna tell people which one to read. Oh, I'm gonna kind of recommend which one to read over. This is basic economics. And this is applied economics. And the reason...
Won't basic economics at least give you the fundamentals, and then you can go to applied economics or something that way?
Applied economics is better, I think, in terms of like healthcare and housing. There's literally chapters called economics of healthcare and economics of housing. Basic economics is way too big. Like it's 700 pages. It's way too big to be a basic economics book.
It's more generalized, though. It's like more generalized.
It is more generalized. But look at how thin this book is compared to basic economics. It's only 200 pages. It's way easier to read. So that's why I'm going to make a comparison video between the two books.
Do you think basic economics is 75% filler? Do you think they're bullshitting all of us?
It's interesting because he does talk about a lot of things in basic economics that doesn't talk about in applied economics. So I do feel like he does. Half this book is sources, by the way.
Oh.
So it's kind of filler in terms of sources. This book doesn't have any sources.
Oh.
So this book's sources are online.
I see.
So he has a website. In the first chapter, he just says, this is the website to get all the sources.
I dig it.
But because it's so big, it's already so big, you cannot put sources in there. You'd make the book wider than it would ever need to be. But this book is so thin, he's able to put 100 sources per chapter, make half the book sources. It's an amazing book. He has 40 pages of sources per chapter or something crazy like that.
That's incredible.
He's one of the best economists in the world because he's able to source so much stuff. Thomas
so what's the answer? You've read all these books. What should we be doing?
You're my Jesus
honestly,
right
this is not investing books. These are just how to think about
in general, what should society be doing?
Society should be thinking that central planning isn't the key answer. It should be individual consumers that decide with their dollar. That's the answer.
Solved it.
And the Fed shouldn't be lowering interest rates. They should be hiring interest rates, making money harder to borrow for businesses that are grifting.
Yeah. Honestly, during the high interest rate times, that's when all the shitty businesses get exposed for how shitty they actually are. Because they've been borrowing money just to maintain.
I asked you not to talk about Papa John's. I know you don't like it, but I don't mind.
Yeah, Warren Buffett says, we know who's swimming naked. Warren Buffett says that. We know who's swimming naked.
I think he's been to the Bahamas. He was at the compound.
Yeah, he was pounding a lot of SPF. Warren Buffett.
I wonder if Warren Buffett was on Pedo Island. I keep asking myself the question: was Warren Buffett on Pedo Island? Man,
that would be the worst.
Nebraska? Does anyone know what he's doing out there?
Yeah, is Pedo Island still a thing? I wonder. Do they seize everything?
That's why Jeffrey Epstein was killed. I think. I don't know. It's because he had so much information on everybody that he could rat, and they're like, oh shit, like all the politicians were like, well, we gotta
the Clintons and all that. I mean, I think pretty much every politician like leading up to Biden's pretty much been on that island. Any former president's been on that island. The last 4 of them, at least.
That's crazy, man. That is wild.
Well, you notice when people are guilty about something, like Bill Gates has kind of gone over the top with getting into politics and the vaccines and everything. It's like comedian Patton Oswalt may have accidentally killed his wife by giving her prescription drugs. So now he's become like an extreme social justice warrior, just to basically so no one asks any questions about what happened with his wife. It's like when someone does something like that, it's Bill Gates and other people. It's like something went on there that they don't want you to know about. So now they're just latching on to whatever cause. Like it's Ukraine, it's this, it's that. So I think that's what happened with the island. But whatever happened to the temple? He had that cool temple. I think it's in an FBI warehouse somewhere. Because I remember, didn't the FBI come out and say, remember all those tapes that he blackmailed people with and we got them? Well, we lost them. Sorry about that. I think it was like 2 years ago. They said, yeah, we lost the tapes. We don't know what happened.
Oh, that's terrible.
My goodness. Oh, Lordy.
Yeah. Anyway, goodbye, guys. It's a bit late right now, and I think I'm waking up people.
Oh, hey, get your ass to bed, man. Hey, and also blame it on this guy. Blame it on this guy right here. If anybody complains, be like, hey, this creeper on the internet told me to get on the webcam.
No.
Hey, Baltimore, do you live with your family or do you pay rent?
I pay rent to my parents, so that.
How much do you pay?
Like only $400, but.
Nice. That's
a good
chapter
deal.
1 of any good book right there.
Dude, yeah, pay as little. That's honestly the best thing in the world. Pay as little rent as you can early on and just keep investing as early as you can. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I just invest all I can, honestly, with the Roth 401k. It's like really good, so.
Well, my man, by the way, I think if I remember correctly, I'm always terrible with names no matter what. Aiden, right?
Yeah.
Aiden? Yep.
That
okay.
is my name.
I was trying to remember. Yeah, Aiden, because it always takes me. I'm stupid with names, but Aiden, man, you're an inspiration to an entire generation. At least you should be. And I'm gonna promote the hell out of you. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna promote that ass and sell it on the street, and I'll be your grifter. I will be your grifter lord. I will grift your ass.
So remember, my channel is not mainly investing; it's more economics. But I will try. I do like economics of mutual funds, like John Bogle. So I guess in that terms, I am an investing channel, but I don't delve into investing like you do or what Strongman does. So
I'm a weirdo, different. Man. I love individual investing because I'm a creep, but I'm a grifter.
I was going to start a food review channel, but I think you've convinced me that book reviews is where the money is. So I'm going to rethink my whole plan.
I mean, I'm not making any money on this. I'm just literally spending $100 on books and just reviewing them. I'm not making any money. I make like 4 views a video.
hey, the knowledge you're getting out of those books, though, by the way, the practical knowledge, that's the most important thing, man.
I may read Karl Marx's Capital, but that's a big book. I don't really like Karl Marx all that much, but he's a pretty violent guy. He was poor for like 10 years in France. I don't think he understands money or economics at all. But
do you think it was odd that he didn't have a job and he just talked about workers all day?
Yeah, I thought it was weird.
Jacob Wool makes fun of people who didn't get the vaccine, but they're obsessed with talking about it all day about how bad it is. Like maybe they're right, but it's just kind of weird. Like that they're obsessed with, even though they never even got it. Like this guy never had a job and he just hung out in the library all day just talking about workers.
Yeah, I do think it's weird that richer people seem to want to control a lot of things, They think that central planning for everybody can benefit everybody, but I just don't think it can work. I mean, that's what The Road to Serfdom is about. And The Road to Serfdom is one of the best books on central planning. Where is it? F.A. Heydrich's Road to Serfdom. It's a very hard book to read, but I do recommend if you can read it. It's a little bit in German, but mostly in English. You could read Road to Serfdom, F.A. Heydrich. It talks about how central planning in an economy can be damaging.
Road to
so.
All right.
Yeah, it always leads to starvation. Everyone just ends up starving.
Yeah, he does talk about that.
I knew this girl from communist Romania. One time she waited in line like 6 hours to get toothpaste, and she gets to the end of the line, and they tell her, sorry, we ran out of toothpaste like an hour ago. So she like wasted her whole day. That's what central planning gets you. This is in like the early 80s in communist Romania.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, he does talk about like how price controls can absolutely ruin an economy too in The Road to Serfdom. So The Road to Serfdom is a very good book. Honestly, though, Basic Economics has written the best chapter on price controls ever. Chapter 3 of Basic Economics, everyone should read Chapter 3 of this book. Chapter 3 of this book is amazing. And it's so easy to understand that anybody, even a little kid, can understand. chapter 3, I think.
How do you feel about minimum wage?
Minimum wage, it hires unemployment. It makes unemployment more. There's more unemployment when you hire minimum wage.
Yeah, because with minimum wage, it doesn't allow negotiation of wage. I think negotiation of wage is actually pretty important. But I mean, I guess there's some benefit maybe to, I don't know. It's tough. I debate it with myself sometimes.
He talks about different debates in this book about minimum wage. So there's like 100 pages on minimum wage. It's crazy. He's just
well, Aiden, though, I know you probably got to go here in a bit, man. We won't keep you too long. Tim and I will finish it all out. But dude, thanks for getting your ass on here, man. I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for letting me on.
No, dude, you got it, man. Anytime you want to join us in our what do you call this? I call this, I guess, a greasy man orgy. We're greasy. We're men.
the second
three boys. We're talking about SBF and talking about how sexy he is. But anyway, I love you, brother. Hey, Aiden, have a good night, my friend. Keep
you
on
too.
rocking it, okay?
Good night.
Woo. He's such a cool kid, man. He's a cool kid.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't really comment on your channel, so I don't know who your fans are. I'm expecting Sloth from the Goonies to show up, or like, who knows? And then it's like this guy, and it's like, if it's some sort of like if the guy, Dr. Frankenstein, like took Warren Buffett's DNA and they crammed it into some kid from Baltimore and just invented some economic genius. It's like I don't even know what just happened.
This kid's a savant. This kid is a savant, man. Like that, he's something special, man. And I think he deserves to be recognized. Just how he understands delayed gratification. Like no kid I've ever, like, dude. He is. It took me till I was like 26 to get some of my shit together, man. This kid is so well together right now. Like, I'm afraid I might ruin the kid. I don't want to ruin the kid. So I'm like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Because what he's doing is perfect, man. He is a smart cookie.
Well, it's hard because society's really dumb. So sometimes you have all this knowledge and you don't know what you're supposed to do with it. It's like, what do I do? How do I use this? Like I kind of know what I've got to do, but it's like, what do I do?
Man, the thing is, man, I just share what I know. That's what I do. And then I think that's what he does too. He does it he does pretty well. I've seen some of his stuff on his channel. He's a pretty smart kid.
Yeah, I got to check him out. Actually, you put the link. Let's
yeah.
Let me try to see what's going on with this guy right now.
Yeah, I said, dude, I love supporting this guy, man. I'm like all about him. I think he's a cool kid.
18 subscribers. We got to boost him up.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm subscribed last time I checked. Hold on. If I'm not, yeah, I'm subscribed. Cool. That's what I thought.
Doesn't have that many videos either. Okay.
Yeah, I told my boy, man, post more videos, even if they're crazy videos. I just say post more, man. I know he doesn't like to get into the investing topics and stuff, which I totally get, by the way. That's totally understandable. But
okay, I just clicked on. We're also live on YouTube. I didn't realize that. I didn't know what was going on, but it's like, okay, we're live on everything.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube, man. That's just like I said. That's why we got it all rolling. We got it all rolling right now. Yeah, dude. So Tim, what else you want to talk about, man? The ball's open. I got.
Yeah.
Dude,
So what's going on today?
Platinum 7X, baby. Oh, what's that?
What is that?
Platinum 7X vodka. I love vodka, man. I ain't gonna lie. I guess I'm a Russian at heart, but.
No, all I got is I drank a bottle of wine on like Friday, and I can't find the cap. But anyway, I was trying to cut back. I thought about it was like 10:45, and I ran out of alcohol on Friday night. And I'm like 15 minutes till the liquor store closes. Man, can I make it? Should I go for it? So I used to do that with my uncle all the time. He had to take his keys and like I can make it, but I'm like, you know what? Forget it. So I didn't bother. But I went to the gym for the first time in 3 weeks today. I think maybe the first time since. Maybe like Christmas, maybe before Christmas. So that was good because I got to get it together. But yeah, I took like a few weeks off. It's hard to. It's a lot of gym's all about momentum. Like when you don't go for a while, it's hard to like get that first one in.
Yeah.
And when you're going regularly, it's hard to kind of stop. But
are there any sports you like to play? Anything in particular?
Well, I grew up playing ice hockey a lot. So mostly hockey, and then I played baseball, softball, a lot of golf, played tennis.
Oh hell yeah!
A little basketball.
Basketball's
I
a
didn't
fun,
play football because my town was too small. I didn't really have a team. It got
Yep.
one later, and my brother played, and he was pretty good. He was like a defensive end, but he would make like tackles downfield and stuff. It was kind of one time he suplexed someone into like that table where they have all the little Gatorade cups. That was pretty wild. But I had an uncle who played football too, and he actually got some concussions. Like in the 70s, it was like back then, if you went to the coach and said you had a headache, they would give you something called a water helmet, which is a helmet filled with water to make it heavier, and that would give you less of a concussion. Basically, that's all they did for him. But he ended up being okay. He wasn't too messed up, I guess. But anyway, he was refereeing like football games. We have this like junior league that's like below our Canadian Football League for like, I don't know, 19, 20-year-olds. And I'd always do like the sideline markers when he was refereeing. So I would like run up and down on the sidelines marking first downs and stuff. But yeah, a lot of hockey. I never got it. I should have got into martial arts because I later became like a big UFC fan. Like I knew about it at the time. I knew about UFC in the time, but I didn't become like a huge fan until later, but I never got into martial arts. Then it seemed like a weird thing to start like halfway through life. I'm going to start like Taekwondo or something.
Hey, dude, there's never any, dude, never think that, man, because there's a lot of things that started late in life. You know, right now I've started like I've started learning martial arts just for the hell of it. Just kind of looking up stuff online, kind of looking at video instructions, just because I don't really know of any gyms where I'm at. So that do martial arts training. So I've been kind of having to wing it, man. I just kind of look at videos, try to learn some different, like Aikido, for instance, is always a fun one. All the wrist locks and stuff. It's actually kind of cool. I'm a decent brawler though. I mean, I've been in a few bar fights, but I'm a sloppy fighter though. I'm a very sloppy fighter. I'm lucky. I'm lucky I'm a fat fuck because I'm like 260. I'm 260, 6'2". I'm a big boy, man. Like, I'm lucky that I'm not easy to take down because if I was, I'd be fucked. I know that for a fact. But
yeah, well, that's a pretty good size, 260, 6'2".
I'd probably say
I'm short. I'm like 5'7". I'm like maybe 225, 230. But yeah, you want to be a bigger size. I remember in high school, they used to do those like, you know, they used to do those tough man contests, those like 1 minute round boxing deals.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'd have stuff like that. And then I was going to go in it in grade 12 in high school, but that was the year they changed the ages. They moved it up like a year or two because in the town next to me is where it was. And the problem is that like high school kids were going in it because they were 18 or whatever, but then it would start fights at school. Like it would start like gang fights at school because someone beat someone up in the thing or who knows what happened. So they canceled it that year. They moved it up to 20 or I don't know what they moved it up to. That would have been my one chance to go in. So I was going to go in it, but it never worked out. So.
It's all good though. Oh man,
yeah,
dude.
that's mostly what I played. Here's the thing: I quit hockey at the end of high school just because my life was falling apart. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I ended up homeless at one point, like years later. That was like when I bottomed out, and then I kind of got it together. But then I came back like 10 or 11 years later. I got back into hockey. I started playing ball hockey initially, and then I didn't want to play goalie because I knew if I played goal, they'd want me to play all the time, and I didn't want to. And then finally, I showed up to a game one time, no one wanted to play, so they're like, here, we got the pads. Do you want to play? I'm like, okay, fine. Then I got totally addicted to it again. Next thing you know, I'm buying my own equipment. I'm like, hey, if I just get some skates, I've got everything I need to get back on the ice. I ran into my old hockey coach. He gave me some skates he had in his garage. So next thing you know, I'm in some tournament. I was in this, I played for this co-ed team that in a lot of tournaments, it was like girls and guys. They're called the Frigid Nipples. Mm-hmm. And I remember we played some all guys team on a military base one time. That was fun. But yeah, I got into it for like about 5 years there. I think the last year I played over 100 games. But I haven't played in a few years now. I got busy with work and everything. I sold my equipment. Some girl came up from Seattle and bought it with her parents. So I thought about getting into it in 2023 again. We'll see what happens. But it's kind of time consuming and it's like costs money. Yeah. It's like hockey, especially like I play goalie. So it's like by the time you stretch and warm up and get your stuff on and play the game and then take it off, go home, put everything away, shower. That's like a 5-hour commitment basically. And I just kind of ran out of time right now, but I'll think about it again. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, me, I'm a basketball addict, man. I've been playing ball for a long time. Like when I was a kid, I actually used to, I actually started playing when I was a kid and I had the weirdest shot. I used to shoot like this. I never watched Larry Bird play either, but it turns out I was instinctually shooting like Larry Bird because I would put it behind my head because I thought of it. I was like, well, if I want it to go in the basket, it's got to be more like a catapult. So I would put it like this, and I'd be like, and people be weirded out. They're like, that's such a weird shot, but I would just like right down the pipe every time. I'd be like,
you had the catapult action.
Yeah, I do just catapult it, man. Just be like, but
if you had an action figure, it would have the catapult action.
Catapult action. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, man, the one thing that's great about basketball is it's one of those games I could play all by myself if I'm having a bad day. Because like I'll find a court outside, right? I'll play anywhere outdoors. Like I'm a freak, man. Cold weather, I love playing cold weather basketball. I don't know what it is, but you feel alive. That's all I gotta say. You feel you're running around like a crazy man, and then you're just like fucking shooting. Just it's so much fun. It's so cheap because all you need is a pair of shoes and some shorts, and sometimes a little bit of vodka. I'll take shots. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit of an alcoholic sometimes. And when I play basketball in cold weather, I definitely start taking shots. That's one thing.
Seattle had some player in the 70s. I can't remember his name, but he would just come off the bench. Like he would sit up. He wasn't in good shape. It was like this shorter black guy. And I think he even smoked. I think he may even smoke like in the arena and stuff. But if the coach needed like a quick, like 10 points to get him back into the game, they'd put him on for like 2 minutes. They'd catch up and then he'd go sit back down. Like he'd only play like a few minutes a game.
There are some players in the NBA who specialize in that, especially when they get older. They'll be like, okay, I could play like 10 or 15 functional minutes in a game, but their presence is so needed because like, the starters need to rest. So then a bench player comes out, and it's like, oh man. By the way, we haven't celebrated I don't think we really celebrated the Seahawks going to the playoffs.
So who are they playing in the first round?
I'll figure that out here in a second. Let's see. Who are the Seahawks playing? In the playoffs? Let's see. No way. The San Francisco fucking 49ers on Saturday. Holy shit.
Hey, you know what? I bet you SBF is going to be at the game. He's going to be in like a luxury box there with like some famous people.
He'll be hanging out with the commissioner of the NFL. Sucking.
That's where he is. He's in like Silicon Valley or something with his parents. So.
Oh yeah, and I think they're going to be at San Francisco too. Well, they're going to be at I can't remember where they play in San Fran, but dude, that's so crazy. Seahawks versus San Francisco. I'm shocked we even made it, man. I thought I was so sad because I thought we were going to lose. I knew we were going to win. I should say. I thought the Lions might lose though, and I was like, when the Lions came back to win, I was like, miracles do fucking happen, man. Because fuck.
Yeah, well, I can't believe Tampa Bay made it. They just inched their way in too.
Yeah, well, Tampa Bay's in one of the shittiest divisions out there. They clinched they're in a division that sucks so bad.
Well, look at the year Tom Brady had. FTX collapse. He gets divorced from Gisele Bündchen.
He made the playoffs though.
Happened to him.
They made the playoffs. Fuck it. At least my boy made it. But yeah, they're thinking he might go to the 49ers next year or something, or he might go to like Las Vegas Raiders or something.
Shouldn't he be going to Denny's? How old is this guy?
Dude, Tom Brady's like 46.
40 says he's 45. He's 45. 40. He'll be 46 next year. Yeah.
That's so crazy. It still weirds me out. Like he's able to still play at such a high level. I have his book though, the TB12 method. It's just his entire diet. It's 80% vegetables and 20% whatever else what he wants to eat, man. Really? It's weird. It's a good it's actually kind of, he's got a really good diet. His diet's incredible, man. Just veggies, pretty much an anti-inflammatory diet. I respect it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Different stuff. He probably doesn't eat any dairy then. Dairy can be inflammatory. But like I'm part French. I mostly eat dairy. But it's like, but yeah, for him, he's like Irish. Yeah, you just want to basically eat potatoes if you're Tom Brady.
I don't even think he eats potatoes. Now that I think about it, I remember seeing like all the stuff he eats. He eats a lot of A lot of fruit as well. Like he'll have like a blueberry. He eats a lot of blueberries, so he'll have like a blueberry shake. The man's diet is pretty much fruit and vegetables, and then pretty sure some meat, as far as I know. But he's got a really cool diet, though. There's something about it, man. It's the way he also exercises. He keeps his muscles. He does something with his muscles that keep them super fucking elongated. So where like he doesn't pull a muscle, it's weird. He's like he's not a superhuman. He's just super prepared. Like,
well, that's the name of the game at his age is flexibility. Like
Yeah.
I noticed when I came back in the hockey, that was the first thing. Just every single, if you don't stretch after like a game or something for like an hour, that's where you get messed up because then the
Yep.
next day everything is just pulled. Like every muscle in your body is just pulled. It's like so at 45 for him, you've got to stretch after the game, like for a while and stretch every single
24/7,
muscle.
man. I love him, man. The guy's an inspiration to me, though. I will admit he's been one of my idols for a while. I don't like the fact that he grifted with the whole FTX thing, though. I mean, he's a sports guy. He doesn't, if somebody came up to me and I didn't know anything about finance or whatever and said, "Hey, I'll give you $10 million to be my spokesman," I'd be like, fuck it, money talks. I'll fucking sponsor anything at that point. So I lost a little respect for Tom, but I also know that he's not. If he was a finance guy, I'd lose more respect for him. He's not a finance guy, so I can't lose. It's like it's not his field of expertise. If it was,
What about Kevin O'Leary? He got in on it. He was supposed to be an expert.
I am so ashamed of Daddy Kevin O'Leary. Dude, you have no idea how it's really weird. He's like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
Jekyll and Hyde. He'll have like really golden moments where he's like the most brilliant sounding investor and what comes out of his mouth is brilliant. And then he'll be like, I believe in crypto now. FTX is the way to go. Please buy FTX token and suck daddy's cock. Please. No, just kidding. I know it's like,
yeah,
no,
well,
it's like,
what they paid him like 16 million or something.
60 million?
16 16.
16,
Like FTX paid him 16 million 16.
Oh,
so
16.
Like,
oh, I think he said 60. Yeah, okay.
So the amount he invested was taken out of like what they paid him. So he didn't actually invest anything.
Oh yeah,
they gave him a bunch of FTX tokens, and he got like $8 million or something.
Dude, he kept playing victim too, and it was pissing me off. I was like, dude, you didn't lose shit. You were a spokesperson, and it's the worst part was he believed in it. Like how do you believe in something like that, man? Like it's crypto. It's not backed by anything real. Like Coinbase.
He goes on TV after it collapses, and he's all serious. He's like in this darkened like room, and they've got him like he's like this. He's like, I want this stuff regulated. I want people to. I don't want this to ever happen again. It's like, what do you? There's nothing to regulate. You can't regulate a piece of software. Like what?
There's really no way to regulate Bitcoin or anything like that. There's no way to regulate any crypto. It's all decentralized. You can try. I mean, it's all on the blockchain, so I guess you could track down people who use it, and you could be like, "Hey, you didn't pay your crypto tax. We're gonna invade your area." I don't know. Crypto's so dumb. I bet against.
I like how it's like 24 hours though. You can just check the price, and there's no like market closes at 3:30 or something. Yeah. It's just you can check it anytime. Like, what's the price right now?
I mean, I bet against it. Seriously, I'm sincere when I say this. I bet against crypto using a leveraged ETF. It's the only leveraged ETF out there that lets you actually has future contracts that bet against crypto, and it bets against Bitcoin specifically. It's called BITI, BITI, and
yeah, I've seen that one. I know someone who has some of it, and they're just like, well, you never know.
Hey, dude, well, here's the thing. I do own Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin just in case I'm wrong. I doubt I'm wrong because Bitcoin doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't have any value. There's no value.
Yeah.
Like how does something valueless have value? I guess, you know what I mean? It has perceived value, obviously. It's like, how like baseball cards, basketball cards, Pokemon cards, they all have perceived value. They all have, I guess you would call it, it's like fine art. It has perceived value. The Mona Lisa, the original Mona Lisa, to me, isn't worth anything to me because I'm not that much of an art guy. But to an actual art collector, there's some guys that would suck dick and give $1 million for the Mona Lisa. Well, actually, probably worth way more than that. Actually, the original Mona Lisa is probably worth in like the in the art community though, probably in the millions, almost billions, dude. Because that's that's rare. I mean, I think it's in an actual museum though. I think the actual
But at
original.
least with the Mona Lisa art, you actually own the physical object, or some people own a piece of a painting, or there's that website where you can buy, like, invest in wine, like a part of a barrel of wine that they're going to bottle in like 10 years or something. But it's like somewhere a physical object exists. Like somewhere in reality. It's not just in the Matrix. So that's a tricky thing about Bitcoin and NFTs and everything. It's like Asmongold, this one guy, he was talking about Trump's NFTs, and all he did was do like a little cut thing around the picture and paste it into Microsoft Paint. It's like, now I have it for free. So
it's so funny, man. Like the stuff they do, the stuff like the how do you say it, man? It's like NFTs, like it's like every snake oil salesman with a couple of bucks got on board with NFTs. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Well, that's how it's been forever. In the 18th century, you know about the South Seas Company? That was in England, and it was just a big stock collapse. People were buying, because at the time there was the market was really bullish. People in England were buying, shares in all kinds of things. And South Seas Company, no one even knew what it did. There was rumors that it was going to be huge. They don't know if it was like sugarcane or some sort of import-export thing, or no one even knew what it was. And then it turned out whatever it wasn't anything, and the whole thing collapsed and people lost a bunch of money. Like every generation there's something like this. So
well, that's FTX is that example, because SBF promised how great this company was, how much actual value there was, and it turns out they were laundering money to the Democrats and I think a little bit to the Republicans. But no, they were doing other things with that money that was stupid as fuck, dude. So many risky trades. I was distraught by it, man. I was like, yeah. If you put your life savings in it, though, I feel bad for you, but I also I kind of don't. Like, it's weird. I have some strong feelings about it. It's like, why would you be dumb enough to give your money to a crypto broker?
Well, it's no different than the mortgage crisis with the adjustable rate mortgages. A lot of people invested in crypto were like on the lower end of the economic scale, thinking this will be big. And the same with adjustable rate mortgages, like, oh, great, we get a house and we'll worry about the rate later kind of thing. And then when that collapsed, everyone kind of lost their house. And it's like, but yeah, it tends to be at the lower end. Like O'Leary can afford to lose out on FTX, but other people thought, oh, this is going to be huge. It keeps going up. Kathy Wood says it's going to be at $1 million. We're all going to be rich. But it's like, so I don't know. People just listen to anything. That's what I've learned from the spring of 2020, from COVID until now, is that people will listen to anything. People will buy anything. People will do anything, and they won't listen to warnings. There's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is ride the wave. Like, you have to kind of look out for yourself a bit and think, how can I get out of this situation? Because the masses keep putting me in situations. They keep trying to inject me with vaccines. They keep trying to shut my job down. They keep trying to take my money, and they keep inflating my money and then taxing me. And then they the government gave me a check 2 days ago, because in Canada, none of this makes any sense, but there's climate taxes and stuff. But then take the climate taxes and then they give you a tax rebate for the climate taxes you've paid, which I don't really understand. I thought this was going to make the weather colder. So then why am I getting a rebate? I don't really understand. Well, anyway, what they did was to fight inflation, they were going to print a whole bunch of money and hand it out to poor people. It's like, if you make less than a certain amount, everyone gets $500, and that was going to fight inflation. But they were like, well, okay, well, this is about kind of buying votes. So what are we going to do for people who make more than $30,000 a year? We got to find a way to give them some money too, because that's what this is. So they went back and they said, hey, we made an error on your 2021 climate credit, and it should have actually been doubled. So don't worry, we've already just deposited in your account. So I check, it's like, yeah, I got $130 or something. But it's just, but yeah, everyone's trying to mess with me. So you're just, how can I navigate this? That's what it's become. You're just being attacked on all. The elites are attacking you. The masses are attacking you. Yeah. Everyone's attacking you. It's like you against everyone. So you're basically, it's a Royal Rumble. Every day's a Royal Rumble now, economically.
I make some good points, man. Damn, like inflate. You know what's funny, man? There's always going to be inflation because they just keep printing money. It doesn't matter how much they print. They could print some, they could print more. It's the dollar so diluted that there's no point in owning dollars. Like saving money is it's just a dead concept, man. It's a bad concept to begin with, to be honest. But that's why I do. That's why I'm obsessed with investing, man. That's why I'm so obsessed. Because if the government can print it, brother, I don't want anything to do with it.
Right. Yeah, it's like, like there's deflation, which happens through technology mostly. Like more advancements in technology starts to deflate how much things cost.
Oh yeah,
but that takes a bit of time,
Oh yeah, because think about it this way, like if the industrial era didn't exist, that was a deflationary time frame because of the new, well, I wouldn't say new technology, but the new way of doing things, creating industries and creating specialization and stuff. That was a big deal. That actually changed the things for the better, in my opinion, because it allowed for more distribution. It allowed for things to be created on a massive scale. I really call it the distribution era, to be honest. The industrial era.
It's a mass-produced era. You suddenly can get all kinds of stuff cheaper, and
which is great.
Maybe lower quality. It's hard to say. I don't know.
I do love tech. I do love how the technology has improved, like AI robotics, for instance. I think that's a great step in the right direction. Automation in manufacturing, even now, I know it kills a few jobs. I'm not going to lie, that kills jobs, but at the same time, it also does lower costs for things if you can automate production. And if you can automate resource collecting too, it's just it's crazy. There's AI farm equipment. Like it's wild. Like it does it all on its own. I just is able to figure out.
They're talking about universal basic income. It's like that may or may not happen. We'll see. But you can create your own universal basic income if you have enough dividends. That's basically a personal UBI.
Oh yeah.
Like you get to a point where companies are paying you because you had their stock.
Yeah, and that's why I own as many companies as I can, man. I'm well diversified, dude. Like and I get a dividend payment like every day. Like I got like 100 different companies that I own. So like each of them pays dividends at different times in the quarter. So because I own so many different companies, some are small, some are big, but I'm getting something. The point is I'm getting something coming at me at all times.
Well, that's the thing is like you might be right about, no one's going to have a job. Things could be automated, or even things that are more creative might get automated. Who knows? So then where are you going to have income? Like, it's hard to know what that economy would look like, but it seems like a good idea to have some dividends.
And I guess people who don't invest will just get money from the government or something. I don't know. But
yeah, and then what do they want for it? What do they want for that money,
Hey, I look forward to an automated world. Like I think of, are you a big Star Trek fan at all? Do you watch any Star Trek at all?
I used to watch the Next Generation. I saw the original one quite a bit.
It's a classic, man. I do TNG Next Generation's probably my favorite Star Trek series. I'm a little torn between Voyager and Deep Space Nine. That's another Star Trek. Those are other Star Trek ones. But man, what I don't want to go off on a tangent too much, but what I was trying to say is that in the Star Trek world, the technology, they technologically took themselves to another level. Things are like, for instance, the discovery of antimatter in the Star Trek universe allows them to have the energy to actually replicate and assemble things molecule by molecule, atom by atom, creating the molecules they need, and then just assembling everything from scratch. It's unbelievable. But
no, that's the thing. When I first got into investing, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know what technology is going to be like. Maybe no one's going to even have food. Why would I have Burger King stock? Like, who knows? We're also going to have tubes and stuff. Then I'm like, wait a minute, I don't need to invest like 200 years in the future. I only got to invest till retirement. It's like, okay, there'll probably be Taco Bells still in retirement. It's like there'll probably still be maybe cars, like whatever you're investing in now. So, but who knows, like so many companies from 100 years ago are gone. So who the hell knows? But luckily you don't have to think that far ahead, because it kind of made me crazy for a bit. I'm like, I don't know how to predict all this.
Well, here's the thing, man. every company that you invest in, if it's a good one, it may not be around forever. It usually ends up getting bought out by a big company. You end up getting a payout one way or another.
Yeah.
So
Or
owning
they
a company,
adjust. Usually the bigger companies are better at adjusting. Like everyone thought, like the soft drink market's changing or something. No one's gonna want this Coca-Cola anymore or something because now they're all drinking like iced coffees or
Coca-Cola
like
just buys
calorie-free bubbly waters or
they
energy
just buy
drinks.
the smaller companies. They buy the
Yeah, they either
smaller
buy them
companies.
or come out with their own, and then
Yeah.
there you go. That's all you got to do.
No, Coca-Cola is one of my favorite companies because have you taken a look at their product pipeline, man? It's massive. Their product
Yeah.
pipeline for Coca-Cola is so vast, and in anything that doesn't work, they get rid of it. Like they're obviously never going to get rid of the actual Coca-Cola soft drink because that's still a popular drink. But like they got like this, I think they're the owners of Dasani water. They own in Dasani and bottled water industry, man. I think that's the greatest grift industry of all time, to be honest. But
Yeah. Well, Coca-Cola tried to get rid of Coke. Was it the 80s? They came out with new Coke and it had like a different flavor or something. It's like companies will pull stuff like that, like out of the blue.
Yeah, they would be stupid if they got rid of original Coca-Cola, though. Like if they should always keep the original because they're still. I love Coca-Cola. I'm a Coca-Cola freak. Like I'll drink a Diet Coke every now and then just because I love it. That's just me.
Yeah, and it's big internationally. A lot of people forget how big stuff is internationally, like big American brands. Like people are kind of down on Disney lately here, but I'm sure it's still huge in like Asia, like Europe, Australia.
Disney's a big deal, man. Disney's a big deal in a lot of other places. Like
my manager at work, she took off. It's like an intern manager, and she took off for like the next 2 weeks. I don't even know where she was going. I never thought to ask her. I'm like, it sounds like she's up to something. And then finally I asked her before she goes, and she's like, oh, I'm going to Disney World. Like, I think she's like, maybe going with her husband or something, but I don't know if they have kids or not, but they're just going there. It's like Disney's still huge. Like there's still people who just, it's an easy vacation. You don't have to think too much. You're in a resort. The restaurants are there. There's rides. There's stuff to look at. It's just a simple thing. Someone who doesn't want to like go to a museum or something, or like, art gallery, you just go there,
You know what I've always wanted to go on, by the way? As like one of those cruise ships, like a Carnival cruise or something, or like that sounds kind of, I don't know. Have you ever been on one of those before?
I was on one cruise. I don't know if I mentioned, I didn't really know my dad growing up, but we met like when I was sort of middle school or high school. So I was kind of raised by my grandparents, and he happened to be kind of near where I was living. So, and I think I'd seen him once briefly in like my whole life. I was maybe 14 or something. But anyway, they went and found him and made him like served him court papers to make him do a DNA test. So he'd have to pay child support kind of thing. But anyway, he's like extremely wealthy, and he was like pretty wealthy back then too. And he, so they did it, and he found out I was his. So anyway, every year he would take his family on vacation. So when I knew him, I got to go to Hawaii a couple times. And then got to go, I went on a cruise. It was supposed to be like Tampa, Florida, and then around and then to like Miami or something. And but we get somewhere near the Cayman Islands, and it's like New Year's, and he gets in like a fight with someone else on the boat, some guy from like Texas whose wife was kind of big. And my dad doesn't drink because when he drinks, he gets crazy and aggressive. So he doesn't drink at all, but it was New Year's, so he's drinking a bit. So he said something about this guy's wife, and then the guy like slaps him. And then so anyway, he decides we're getting off the boat. We're stopping at Cayman Islands. So we got off the boat, and we were at Cayman Islands for the next week. But yeah, while I was on there, I remember it was NFL season because a bunch of Americans, we were kind of sitting around watching football and the thing. There was like a all night, like all you can eat pizza thing going on. And then it was just like a lot of sitting by the pool and hanging out. It's not for everyone. Like I didn't mind it that much, but a lot of people complain about cruises. Like, oh, there's nothing to do. You get kind of claustrophobic on the boat or something. I'm like, well, you're supposed to relax. You just sit in the lawn chair. That's all you need to worry about.
Yeah.
I remember we met some family because they put you with different families or whatever, different people to like have dinner with. Like you have like an assigned, like, I don't know, companion family or something, just so everyone's in the thing. And it was some family from Boston, and the guy was like a cop, and his like two kids were there. And and I can't remember. They just gone to Africa for some reason, just to check out Africa, to look at poor people, so their kid understood that there was poor people or something. So they came back and we were on the boat. So I remember that guy. But yeah, it was okay. I didn't really know what was going on. I barely knew my dad. Like, people were asking me about my family. It's like, I've only known him a few months, and they're like, "What are you talking about? Like, have you been kidnapped?" I'm like, no, I know him. He's my dad. But like, so it was kind of weird for me. But yeah, that was the one time I was on a cruise. I'd do it again. In Vancouver, we get cruise ships coming in all the time. But that's a good idea. I should look into a cruise or something.
Yeah, I always thought it'd be kind of cool, and I think they're pretty affordable for the most part. I think, I mean, not like super easily affordable, but like, affordable enough because they have enough free food. I guess it would compensate. It'd just be kind of cool. It'd just be interesting to go on one of those. By the way, now I know you said your dad's wealthy. I'm just going to assume that your dad is Kevin O'Leary. By the way, I'm assuming your dad is Grifton. He's Kevin. I'm just assuming Tim Smith's dad right now is Kevin O'Leary, and we're just going to call it.
Yeah, it's funny. He seems to talk a lot about Kevin O'Leary, but there's enough hostility. I don't know. It could be.
Have they ever been in the same room together?
No, they don't look anything alike. There's no Irish people in my family. But yeah, he's got a mansion. I'll send you the video through email later. But he was going to sell his mansion like a couple years ago, and he listed it on the market for like $30 million. And then he got one offer on it, and he decided. Yeah, he got one offer. He decided not to sell it. I haven't talked to him in 12 months. We got into a fight. We might not talk again. But he decided not to sell it, so he still has it, I think. It's in Laguna, California. It's in Laguna Niguel. But it's in like this gated community or something. But he got one offer. He said it was from a Chinese college student. And he said the only reason they didn't take it was because the city wouldn't give them a permit to build a helicopter landing pad. It's like, that's the kind of money China's sending over just with their college students.
Damn, man. That's so fucking wild, dude. That is wild. No, but that's pretty cool, though. Like, so does he know? Well, how much? So, like, okay, so he purchased it for a set amount before.
No, he built the house. He bought the land and he custom built a mansion. So it has everything he likes. Like, he's got a recording studio he built in there because he likes doing music. He's got just whatever he likes in there. So I don't know why he was selling it, but he was trying to. He put it up there anyway. So.
Well, why'd you guys get in a fight, man? I'm sounding like Dr. Phil right now.
I found him. I searched. That's how I found him. Was his mansion. I was searching Google and trying to get his number when the COVID lockdowns happened at the beginning. I'm like, because before that I hadn't talked to him since year 2000. So it had been like 20 years was the last time we talked. So I'm like, I should find that guy and see what he's up to. I'm like, this looks like it, because the mansion had a lot of music stuff in it and a couple of art pieces that I recognized from when I actually knew him. It's like, that's got to be him. So I found him. I eventually got a hold of him with a phone number or something. But then we talked for like a year or two, but he didn't seem that into it, like, like I think I sent him a message or called him in November of like 2021, and he never got back to me until like March of 2022 or something. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do I talk to you every 4 months kind of thing or something. It's like, because his other son, because he's like, oh, sorry, I got busy over the holidays. And then I was one of his other kids. I find their Facebook, and they're all having a big Christmas party, and everyone's there at the mansion. I'm like, I didn't ask to be invited, but I could have got a text back. That would have been nice. Yeah. So it's like, it was that kind of thing where it's just like, all right, I'm done with this. But before that, we were talking quite a bit, on and off anyway, like quite a bit for him, which is like every month or 2 months or something.
Now, I know I'm not.
But I heard he's retiring now, so I don't know what he's going to do for the next 30 years. Because
hang out with him, man. I think you should. I mean, get to know him. The only reason I say that is because what is he like in his 50s or 60s or 70s? Like, how old is the dude? Like,
he was pretty young when he had me. He might be I don't know. I think he's probably like in his early 60s.
Early 60s, yeah, I'd say, dude. And you didn't. How long have you been able to be around him? At least, like you said, a grand total of like.
Well, when I knew him in middle school, we'd see each other. Well, he was kind of living near me, so we'd see each other once every few months, kind of thing. And then he moved out of province, so then we'd see each other kind of once a year. And then he wasn't really called. And then I went to work for him in like right after high school, just so I didn't know what I was doing, kind of thing. And that was okay. It was construction and. Like northern Alberta. He mostly built highways is what he built. highways and roads. And then he started doing like airport runways and then subdivisions. But initially his main thing was building highways. So I worked for him a bit there. And then we got in this big fight. That was the first. We never really got in a fight before that because we were kind of similar personalities. We always got along. But like I go there. It's the first time we're ever actually living in the same town. And again, I don't really see him. He's at a different hotel. I'm somewhere else. I kind of don't see him on the job site that much. And then his other kids show up again, and they're staying at the hotel with him, and they're all going to dinner every night. It was a weird, like it was more just he doesn't really know how to handle family that well. He's been divorced a few times, so I've got all kinds of stepkids and stuff like that. Yeah. So it wasn't like he was like personally had a problem with me. It was just he doesn't know how to deal with stuff like that well, and I can only handle it so much. So I thought, well, I can handle it better this time, 20 years later, and I did for a while. But then it's just like, all right, that's enough. I'm done.
Yeah, he just could be lacking a social ability. Maybe he's just not as and that can happen sometimes, man. Maybe he's just maybe he's just super obsessed with what he does and just finds interacting with
he works like 15 hours a day for years on end. Like he does his little Christmas vacation, but like 5 a.m. to like 6 every single day for years.
Just consumed with the work, man. I mean, I get it to a degree, but I also think like, it's always good to make time for the family when you can, like that's why I hope hopefully if he retires soon, maybe he'll be more connected with you. I just like seeing people, I just like seeing, I guess you could say, I like seeing those like little happy endings, where people like get to, have a bit of better relationship, with whether it's their father, their mother, and stuff like that. I love seeing it, man. I like seeing a better scenario. So
yeah, at least I did what I wanted to do, and then I'm able to move on. Like when I got a hold of him finally, I sent him like thousands of dollars worth of stuff, like artwork, vinyl records, like rock t-shirts, Blu-rays, all kinds of stuff, all mostly to do with music and concerts, stuff that I knew he hadn't seen yet, or like he loves Spinal Tap. I got this cool like Spinal Tap artwork I sent to him, like stuff like that. And
that's cool, man.
So I figured at least I'll step up, I'll move on. It's almost like a formal, like biblical kind of like honor thy mother, father kind of thing. It's like, let's try it that way. Let's forget the everything else that happened. And just if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least I put everything on the table. Hey, I'm here if you want a relationship kind of thing.
You extended the olive branch and it's always extended if he wants. That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing.
And he never got hostile. It was just, he would just vanish for months. So I'm just like, all right, well, see you later. You know where to find me if anyone's looking for me. But yeah, that was my family's philosophy growing up. It's like you ever seen Spinal Tap?
Oh, you know what? Spinal Tap. Isn't that? That's like a movie. It's like a weird.
Yeah, it's like the British rock
movie.
stars. It's like a comedy. It's like a spoof.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I've heard descriptions of it. If I remember right, I'm trying to remember if this is what I'm thinking of.
Because at the end of the movie, they're the credits are rolling. They get like some extra stuff in there, and the drummer's sitting in a bathtub, and they're interviewing him, and they're asking him, "So what's your philosophy on life?" He goes, "Well, I suppose my philosophy on life would be sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but I suppose as long as there was a sex and drugs, I could do without the rock and roll." That's basically the family I grew up with, which was like, that's about it. And it's like I made the mistake of like taking music and stuff seriously. It's like, no, you're not supposed to care about that. You're supposed to care about the drugs. Music is just what you put on the background as an excuse for doing the drugs. But I never got the memo, but that was their thing. So they all kind of ended up into drugs and stuff. And then I became like the nerd. It's like, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to actually listen to any music.
Yeah, man, that's funny, man. Oh my god! But hey, you came out right though. You did, it's a good thing, man. As long as you come out right on all of it. I think drugs. The only drug I like.
I can't believe my life is totally different than it was 2 years ago. It's like a year and a half ago, I knew nothing about investing. I could kind of explain half of the movie The Big Short. That was about all I knew. Oh, and now it's like in a year and a half, like I can't believe when you're talking to this Baltimore guy. Aiden is like, I can't believe I understand anything you're saying. Like either of you, because a year and a half ago, I knew nothing. Like there's been a few people lately who have been like, hey, maybe like coworkers and stuff, maybe we'll get together and you can explain some of this investing to me because I kind of want to get involved. And I thought, oh, that sounds great. That sounds like a lot of fun. And then I sit down and I start thinking of what I would tell them. I'm like, I don't know where I'd start because I just spent hours like alone, like reading this stuff. And it's like, I'm nowhere near an expert now. I just know enough to like buy a stock and kind of have some idea. But it's like, I don't even know where I'd start. Like I would tell them, you're going to have to spend hours alone figuring this stuff out like I did. It's like, you're going to lose money right off the start because you won't know what you're doing.
Dude, if I were to come up with 3 rules, by the way, that I think would help your coworkers out if they want to know good investing practices. Rule number 1 is this: if everyone's investing in it or doing it, it's probably not good for you. It's probably not worth it. 2, diversify as much as you can. 3, basically just buy great companies. Buy companies that are well established. That's honestly, if I was to go investing, if I had 3 simple rules, those would be it. Don't do what everybody else is doing.
I would tell him, here's a few good ETFs. Pick one. That's what I would do.
Buy and hold, dude. Buy and hold breaks the mold, man. It's
funny though, the dividend YouTube community. There's video after video after video. It's like how you can retire faster. How can you retire the fastest through dividend stocks? It's like how you can make more money at dividend stock. Like, and it's all just like but every video is the same. There's hundreds of them. It's all just, hey, the more shares you have, the more dividends you get. It's like, it only needs to be a 5-second video. And they're usually about 10 minutes. It's like, you can see here, I put more money in, so I had more shares. Then my dividends went up. It's like, there's nothing to explain.
So something funny I always think about, I was thinking about this the other day. I thought about this. When I buy Bank of America, right? When I buy like a Bank of America stock, right? I'm basically an owner of the ATMs, the branches. And if those ATMs, when everybody uses an ATM or there's some transaction fee or something and there's some loan given out, I'm a shareholder, man. I'm a part of the game. And like people, the problem is people look at investing. Well, they look at the stock market like a gambling arena because the television shows, CNBC, for instance, constantly convinces people. They're like, look at the S&P 500's up. Oh, no, it's down. We're all fucked. And they make people get panicky and freak out. When in all reality, they should treat the stock market like buying good real estate. If I'm buying Bank of America, dude, I'm buying Bank of America. Whoa. Like, that's the way people need to think about it. They need to think about, if I'm buying Bank of America stock, I am an owner of Bank of America. That's the way they got to look at it. If people look at it from the owner mentality, you'll never think of it as a gambling arena again. You're thinking, I'm an owner. I'm big money. I'm an owner. If you think that way, you're always fine. But if you think of it like I'm in a casino smoking cigarettes and taking a dump, that's the wrong way to look at it,
Yeah, it's just hard to get people into it. It's like you got to get them into that mindset from being like an employee mindset, or they're a government worker, or they're like a college student. You're not really thinking about owning a bank when you're like, or even like what else are they gonna say? Yeah,
better to own the bank than rob it.
And all this stuff is like, like I've never listened to more nerds in my entire life than I have the last year. It's just been nothing but nerds, just one after another.
I'm the biggest.
This is the most math I've ever had to do since high school. Like, I've done so much math in the last year trying to figure out projections and like, what's the yield on cost of this after 10 years? What's the compound on that? It's like, you have to become a nerd for at least a year to figure this stuff out.
I will say the one best rule I could give you: never overcomplicate it. Yeah. Never overcomplicate the process, and try to think as long-term as you can. Try to think of it like a house you're going to live in. Like, if I'm buying a house and I'm going to live in it for 20 years, it better be decent, So if I'm going to buy a company and I'm going to be holding it for 20 years, it better be decent. You know what I mean? It's got to be good. It's got to be worth it. And that's really it. I mean, when you're looking at a balance sheet, man, all you need to look at is, a strong man's going to kick my ass for saying this. One of the main things I look at is assets versus liabilities. If it has way more assets than it, when I say liabilities, I mean like how much debt does it owe? Do they owe the mafia money? No, you know what I mean? Like, do they owe other banks money and stuff or whatever? But any company, man, as long my ratio is 3/1.
Right.
Assets times 3 over liabilities times 1. And essentially, basically what I'm trying to say is this company in a lot of debt? And if it isn't, great. Does it have a lot of assets? I'm turned on. Yes, it does. That's my main focus. And then if a company is also has a decent product pipeline, like an okay product, like a lot of products, another thing, what are their earnings? Are their earnings constantly growing over time? Also, PE ratio matters. Price over earnings does matter. So if it's overvalued, you'll know in an instant. Also, another thing, are institutional investors investing in it? Like guys like Warren Buffett or guys like Charlie Munger, stuff like that. Big money, is smart money investing in it, then sweet. Let's get into it too. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Don't overcomplicate it is all I ask. Because I don't want to. I see people fall into the complication trap where it's not. People don't overcomplicate it is all I ask, because you're doing yourself a disservice by overcomplicating it. But still, look at the different things about the companies if you do want to individually invest. But honestly, an S&P 500 index fund is not a bad start either. That's probably just as good of a start.
Yeah, well, I mean, and if you're investing for dividends, that's the strategy where you don't have to know everything. The whole point of it is that you can just invest and then go back to your life and check in 20 years later, or just put in like $100 a week or whatever you're doing. That's sort of the strategy for people who don't want to be consumed by investing because they have other interests, and same with just like an index fund, like you said. If you want to just live your life and not have this like consume it, then that's what you should do. Just, put in and check in 20 years later,
By the way,
well, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not stock advice. Yes. I have to say that first. Yes, but I was going to say my all-time favorite U.S. stock is Flowers Foods. Do you have any Flowers Foods?
Flowers Foods.
They make Wonder Bread and like a bunch of snack cakes.
Oh, are you serious?
But if you look at their stock over the last 20 years, they're indestructible. It's like the mortgage crisis did nothing to stop them. The COVID did nothing to stop them.
Well, they're a defensive stock because they're a food company, man. Food companies
they've gone
tend to do
straight
well
up for 20 years straight, and they raised their dividend a cent a year, and it's like nothing can beat them. No crisis that's happened. It just straight up. They didn't even dip during COVID. They didn't do it. The only time they dipped was when they did a stock split, and that's it.
Why the hell? Well, yeah, when you do a stock split, you're actually not dipping at all. So when you do a stock split, now are you talking about a reverse split or just a standard stock split?
I think it was a standard split. Yeah.
Yeah, because standard stock split. So what that does is I'll give you an example. Like let's say you only own one share of the company, right? And we announce a stock split. Let's say 1/3 or something like that. So you trade in one share and you'll get 3 back, and a 1/. I think the ratio is a little fucked up the way I'm saying it, but yeah, basically. Your exchange a stock split's a good thing, by the way. It doesn't make the company more valuable. The valuation still remains the same, but what it does is it actually makes the shares a little more affordable. So you still have the same value of shares. So let's say you had one share of this company for $20, right? And then the split. Oh no. Hold on, let's make it easier. $30. One share, $30, right? And then the stock split happens. You're going to trade that one share and you're going to get 3, right? So now each of your shares is $10 per share. It's still the same dollar amount in total. You just get more shares, but because there's more shares in total, that devalues each share, but you still have the natural same value. It's you know what I mean? I think
like the dividend might drop, but it'll go back up eventually. And I don't even know Flowers dropped it after the stock split. They're like a juggernaut. They can't be beat.
Oh, do they not have a dividend?
No, they got a dividend,
Oh,
but I don't think they cut it even during the stock split. I can't remember, but
no, stock split. So here's the thing, man. Like I said, stock split's a good thing. Like when they do it, what you're doing is you're like the company, like this, like legitimately, the company valuation remains the exact same.
Yeah.
People tend to buy more shares though, because on a price per share basis, it becomes more affordable. You as the shareholder technically don't lose anything when a stock split happens. And same thing with the reverse stock split. Now, reverse stock split is a little more negative. That's a more negative sign. A regular stock split is basically just saying you can trade in your one share. For every one share you own, you get 3 shares. Stuff like that. So it's just kind of like basically saying, hey, we're a profitable company. We can dilute our shares a little bit by doing this stock split and we'll be totally A-okay. It just makes it to where more retail investors can afford it on a per share basis. So
yeah, they're trying to like raise more funds. So yeah, Flowers is great. Well, do you use a dividend reinvestment plans for your, or do you like to direct your dividends yourself?
I don't do any of the, so I don't do any of that automatically. It's a weird process. So I take the dividends that I have and I just let them sit for the most part in my account. I don't actually now here's the thing. I don't reinvest the dividends, but I do constantly add money to my brokerage where I just keep buying more companies. It's really weird. I don't know. I don't like to, here's why I don't reinvest automatically. The reason I don't let the brokerage do it for me is because I like looking for different companies. I like looking, as long as they're good. I don't, fun fact, I don't spend that much time looking at the stock market in a day. In a grand total, I look at my brokerage accounts probably 10 or 15 minutes for the whole day in grand total. I take one quick look and I'm like, do I see any good deals today? Do I see any good companies? And I'll be like, okay, I'll do a little research if I find one. If I don't, I'm typically adding more money to an existing position. That's pretty much it. So it's simple, man. I just stack the logs. I'm just putting more wood on the fire is really what I'm doing, is all I'm ever doing.
Yeah. I've got some stuff in dividend drip plans, dividend reinvestment plans. Then there's other things where I can't, because I use through my stockbroker, mine doesn't let me buy like a fractional share of something. You have to buy like a whole share or nothing. So there's some where I need like 20 grand to buy one share, like a dividend payout. So for those, I just take the dividends and then but other ones that are like a higher yield, you only need like a few $1,000s to get like an automatic reinvestment every month or quarter or something. So for those, I keep them in drip, but.
So the reason I do it the way I do it, just want to give you a heads up why I do it that way. It's kind of a weird philosophy. I'm sharing this real fast here. Hold on. I'm actually sharing our live stream here with a few people because there's a few people I think would appreciate it. So the reason I want to start treating any dividend payout that I get as a form of income. So I pretend like it's income coming at me that I can use at my disposal. And then anything I make from work, anything I make from YouTube, or do you know Spotify is paying me now, by the way? Spotify is paying my ass. It's crazy. Dude, actually, have you thought about doing just a straight up audio podcast where because I know that you kind of don't want to put yourself in the position to, what do you call it? To get, because your fear is very valid, because I fear like I would get fired for half the opinions I have. But have you ever thought about doing a podcast where you use like the moniker Tim Smith? You just say, hey, I'm Tim Smith and this is the audio podcast. You can make decent money on like using Anchor FM to distribute it to like Spotify and stuff. But
yeah, I'll think about it. I mean, ideally, I think I'd want to do interviews. Like I'd want to interview mostly like political philosopher type people, like a Curtis Yarvin or a Michael Malice or whatever, and maybe do like a 30-minute thing where I ask him questions. That'd probably be ideal for me, because otherwise, there's stuff I know about, but there's already a lot of on there. Like I wrote a book on like a David Lynch movie. I could talk about David Lynch, but there's a million videos on David Lynch. I could talk about the Pumpkins. I could talk about hockey. I could talk about UFC, but there's a million like channels like that. So, but the only reason I'd want to do interviews is because I feel like I'm at a point where I'm watching these people get interviewed all the time, and I feel like some of the best questions aren't being answered. So that's where I feel like I could maybe do something a little different there. But I'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. So.
Yeah. No, I think here's the thing, man. Here's what I think. I think because podcasting does give you a little bit of an anonymity factor. Yeah. If it's only your voice, and that's why I think I'm lucky because there's a lot of Michael Garzas out there. My name, if you look at my name, I'm a very common name. It's tough to figure out which one's which.
Well, when you search Michael Garza on YouTube, it comes up as someone from the Disney Channel. Is like the first thing that comes up.
Yep, exactly. He's like, yeah, he's some Disney kid or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, like, I want to be the real Michael Garza, to be honest. I want to be the Michael Garza that shows up on the first result. But yeah, I kind of
our last video got 600 views. I look back through your channel. That might have been your biggest video. You might have had one way before that was bigger.
Oh, actually, you want to know what my biggest video is, unfortunately?
Uh-oh.
It's how to find porn on YouTube, and it has over 97,000 views last time I checked.
Oh, you're right. No,
I've got some weird videos. When I first saw your channel,
I remember seeing that because I was like, let's see what this guy's biggest video is. And that's what it was. So.
Yeah, no, but the video, actually, as far as interviews go, I haven't done a lot of interview, but I've had a lot of like conversations with people. The one with the 600 views was actually one of the bigger ones that I've had. So that was pretty cool. It was funny. It was such a simple formula. I just had my phone like this the whole time to the fucking microphone, and I just had you on speakerphone the whole time. So, but this is better. I like this better. This is way easier. Dude, did you notice that we've been on here for 2 hours?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like this podcasting. Like, like that's what Rogan said when he started. He started doing it backstage at the Comedy Store on his little phone, just like showing what was going on backstage for like 5 minutes. He never thought that you'd talk to someone and 2 hours would go by. Yeah. Like, that's never happened before. Like, for the first 100 years of media for radio and television, there'd be discussions and stuff like that, but they were, 30 minutes or less. The most you would have is like a 1 hour talk show with commercials. And so they'd have like a guest on. So how much talking is on there? Maybe like 35, 40 minutes. No one ever thought you could just have like a 2-3 hour conversation. I saw one Lex Friedman one. He talked to a guy for 8 hours, like some Indian scientist. It's an 8 hour video.
Yeah, like I don't think I could ever do like an 8 hour one. That would be too tough for me. Like even right now, I'm feeling a little bit winded. I'm like, oh man, like I'm a somewhat of a social creature, but like I'm not the most social person in the world. But
you push it to the limit. Your limit's like about 2 hours now.
Yeah, I think 2 hours. I like pushing it to the limit though. This is fun. Plus, I honestly just enjoy talking to you, man. You're a fun dude, and I enjoy listening to you, man. Like, yeah, I have fun with this, dude. Like, and also it's really cool that we had as someone else, my boy Aiden, in the thing with us a little bit earlier. We should call it a good guy
for you to do like a weekly segment with, like bring that guy on.
Yeah, we could call it two old dudes and a kid or something. That would be called the segment. Call it 2 old dudes and a kid, just live stream. And this kid's taking old men to school, basically, just teaching us all sorts of shit. That'd be kind of cool, man. Actually, two men.
Yeah, just you and him. It'd be 2 guys, 1 book, and then you can read like this. You can read like this. What is it? The Snopes notes or whatever it's called, and then he could just come with the whole thing or something.
I love it, man. I love it. That's funny. Now he's a smart cookie, man. I can't believe he's 21 years old and just playing it smart the way he's playing it, man. It's cool. I'm supporting this kid, man. I want
that's
this
the thing
to...
is so many people nerd out over stuff that's not going to help them. Like they nerd out over their Pokemon card collection, or they like nerd out over.
I will admit though, my buddy is sitting on like I think he's sitting on like $70,000 worth of Pokemon cards though. So it's not it kind of works though.
But people nerd out over stuff like that. Sometimes it's too much video games, or it's like, or they collect Funko Pops, but the thing is, that's not going to help you as much as like whatever this guy's doing. Like he's got all these stacks of economic books in there. If you're going to be a nerd out over something that's going to like be able to give you a life at the end of it.
Exactly. And dude, it's funny because he's got the same mentality I do. I buy books after books after books. I'm a cheap ass though. He's buying them on Amazon, whereas I'm buying them at my local Goodwill. Like, you ever been to a Goodwill before?
Yeah, we got lots of thrift stores here. I don't know if we have an actual Goodwill though. We got Salvation Army and stuff like that.
Salvation Army is always a good place. So I buy all, no joke. I live in kind of a retirement. I wouldn't say a retirement community per se, but I live in an area that's kind of next to a richer city, and a lot of these old people bring their books.
Yeah,
and they donate their old books, and I found great books all over the fucking place. Like right now, I could hold on. Let's see. I don't got anything crazy on here. These are all next to me right here. But like, I don't know. I'll find this seems like kind of a grifty book, but it's not bad. But like The Doctor's Diet, for example, decent book. I haven't read all of it yet, but it's pretty good so far. I got Business Writing for Dummies. I want to be a better business writer. You know, write better titles, write better anything. You know.
Yeah.
And then photo reading. Paul Sheely, my boy. Like, you know, kind of just roll with it. But it's good shit, man.
No, you're right. It's like the town I moved to, they've got some guys got like, I think it looks like an old movie theater or playhouse or something, but it's long gone. Like this was like from maybe like 80 years ago. The guys converted it to like a giant just book emporium, and it's got like 300,000 books in there. And I was in there a while ago, and I found like this is one book from it, but it's like because I'm into history and stuff, and this is like a 4-book set. This is about John Churchill, the Duke of Marlborough. But it's written by Winston Churchill, like the British Prime Minister, who was like one of his descendants. But anyway, he was like a military general in like the early 1700s. But I'd been looking for this set forever. And it's like I couldn't find a way to buy it online. And I don't think it was super rare, but I couldn't find it or anything. And then I walk in the store and the guy's got the set and there's no price on it. I was like, I've been looking for this forever. He's like, oh, maybe I should charge a lot then. But he didn't really charge me that much. But yeah,
that's
these
cool.
definitely check out used bookstores. There's some weird stuff in there sometimes.
You'll find also, dude, that's why I love like Goodwill, Salvation Army. Those are my main ones when it comes to getting my books. And dude, it's just crazy the amount of so funny thing is I'm a software developer nerd. I love like you know, I like programming in Java, Python, and all those like high level programming languages. And I found an antique book for Java. It was the Java 2 book. Like this is like back in like I think this was written in 1999. Or maybe it was, it might even been 1998. I can't remember. I'll have to look at the copyright date again. But this is like, it still applies today because Java still has the same syntax, but you get to look at all the old libraries for the programming language, because programming languages like high-end ones like Java have so many built-in libraries for functionality, which when I say libraries, I mean like just things that you could pull and utilize to make the computer do whatever the fuck you want it to do, basically.
Right.
And like it's crazy the stuff you could do in Java. I'm just gonna say that fucking right now. It's insane, but yeah, I'm not gonna nerd out over that too much. But yeah, like I'll find like these old books that still have decent material in it, but it's kind of fun because it almost feels like you're walking into a time capsule. You know what I mean? Because some of the things they reference, for instance, it's like it's nice to see a world before. Like I love cell phones. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to see a world before cell phones again. You know how people like wrote books and how people.
Well, do you remember when websites had chat rooms when that was a thing?
That was cool. That was badass.
But like you don't see that anymore, do you? There's no more chat rooms.
I need to implement that on my website. I got like I think my domains. I don't ever check my website though. It's called garzabrand.com. But it was a big deal. I met some girl in a chat room. This would have been in the 90s or late 90s, I guess. And she was actually some Mexican girl in Sacramento. She was in Yuba City, which is north of Sacramento. I remember it was rated one of the bottom 5 cities in all of America for like a few times or something. Oh damn.
But she was there, and and I ended up going, and I stayed with her for a few days because my favorite band, the Pumpkins, was doing an autograph signing in San Francisco, and that's where she was. This is actually the autograph right here that I got.
Wait, are you talking about Smashing Pumpkins or the?
Yeah.
Oh, Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah.
But I met her in a chat room. It was like the prowrestling.com chat room or something. And because of that, I went down, I stayed there, and then I went to like the autograph signing, and she came, but it was funny. But yeah, there used to be chat rooms like in websites. Because you know how they did like the To Catch a Predator all the time with that. What's that guy's name again?
Oh, Chris Hansen, yep.
Yeah, but I could never understood, like, because they'd always say, we have your chat transcript, or this is what you said in the chat room. And I'm like, there are no chat rooms. Where are these chat rooms? But I think they were just talking on dating sites or something.
Well, I think a lot of them are like there are still chat rooms that are on the internet, but they're like these like weird forums and stuff. And what happens is people will meet. It's tough how they meet because usually it is dating websites. I think is how they do it for the most part. But
what the To Catch a Predator was doing, which I didn't understand, was they would be on a dating site and they would message someone and say, "Hey, how's it going?" And their profile would say they're like 25, and then in the course of the chat, they would say, "Oh, hey, I'm actually 16 or something." And then the guy, if they
and that's to lure in the sexual predators, basically.
Yeah, but I didn't understand that because he didn't really explain that on the show. Like, I didn't understand why are these like random teenagers just on some website? It's like, oh, okay, because they're saying they're one age, then they're saying they're another, then the guy's showing up. But I didn't understand. I could never figure that out. It's like, where are these chat rooms? Like, what's even going on?
Yeah. I think a lot of them like reach out to each other like on like those on like either Facebook Messenger or something or whatever tools they use. But I don't know. It's strange, but I always found I like doing Chris Hansen impressions. I'm like, I'm Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC.
Have you watched Jacob Wolf's Predator DC?
No, I remember you mentioning Jacob Wolf actually a few times.
Yeah, Jacob Wolf, WOHL. He does the same thing, but it's
Wall got you.
Yeah, he was uncensored for a while. Now he's out on YouTube, but he does the same thing in Washington D.C. A few weeks ago, they got like Chuck Schumer's former press secretary showed up, and they've had like judges and FBI agents, and because it's in D.C., right? It's all powerful people, so people are just walking in left and right. It's so funny.
Hey, if you want to go to Pedo Island, it's all there in D.C., man. That's where Pedo Island really is. Anyway, man. Okay, so I just realized, man, we've been on here for like 10 hours, not 10 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes. I gotta admit, I'm a little bit out of it right now, but you want to just call it a stream and call it good?
Yeah. So how does this work? Does this go up on YouTube now? Like, I know it's on there now. Does it get saved to YouTube?
It gets saved to YouTube, yeah. So like it's on there right now, and it should be archived after. Once I end the broadcast, it'll go. I can end the broadcast, and we can still talk to each other. Hold on, I'm gonna end the broadcast real quick. Just stay on there though.
Bye everybody.
Bye Tim Smith. I'll see you in a second. Just stay on there. I'm ending.